All right, how's everybody doing? We are continuing to count ballots. We have updates. We do not yet have a call, although it's conceivable that in the next 45 minutes or so, something will happen. But my guess is still probably not. So, welcome. I'm glad everybody is here. We have a lot to discuss. We're going to look at Nevada. We're going to look at Arizona has become a subject. We're going to look at videos. I'm going to hear from some of you guys, hopefully as well. And there's just a lot to discuss. Where to even start? I mean, I guess at this point where we should start is what's going on officially. So we still have Joe Biden at 264 electoral votes, Donald Trump at 214. Now, for my purposes, I'm giving Trump 217 because I'm just giving Trump Alaska. Now, I know that there are actually some people saying, hey, if you look at Alaska, they've been stuck at 50% reporting. It's not completely inconceivable that Biden could get it. I just don't think this race is going to depend on Alaska. And I can maybe explain the math of that a little bit later, but I think Alaska is done. Arizona is a question only because not every network has called it. Now, I'm going to get protest video for you momentarily. There's protests to count votes, and there's also protests not to count votes going on right now. And then there's also just people praying, invoking, I guess, demonic destruction in order to win by Trump. So everything is happening right now. I'm going to get to some of that video in a little bit, but I'm pretty confident about Arizona. The Associated Press data, which is this right here, has been really conservative. And Fox News, there's actually something going on with Fox News where it seems as though Rupert Murdoch is interested in being the first to call this for Biden. They are confident, Chris Wallace says, that Arizona is going for Joe Biden. So I think that Arizona will go Biden. And I see there's a few people in my chat saying, no. I think Arizona is going Biden. And so given that, where we are right now is that any one state gives this presidential race to Joe Biden. If Joe Biden gets Nevada, he gets to 270. Hold on. If Joe Biden gets we'll look at each state. If Joe Biden gets Pennsylvania, he gets to 284. If Joe Biden gets North Carolina, he gets to 279. And if Joe Biden gets Georgia, he gets 280. Now, for me, the most likely is Nevada. Why? Because he's currently winning in Nevada. In Nevada, I don't really understand what's going on in Nevada. They resumed counting earlier today, and all day we've only gotten 1% of the vote. Now, that 1% did push Joe Biden's lead from 0.7 to 0.9, but word is that Nevada's done for the day. They're going to continue counting tomorrow. I just don't understand what's happening in Nevada, why they're counting so slowly, but that is the most direct path. Now, understand that if Biden gets Nevada, understand the importance of the Nebraska 2nd District, because if Biden gets Nevada and nothing else, without the 2nd District in Nebraska, Biden's at 269. If Biden gets that 2nd District in Nebraska, which he did, that gets him to 270. Now, people are asking me about the Ralston report tweet about Nevada. I don't have that. I saw it. I don't have that. But I do have this tweet from Emma Kinnery, which is from about 10 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago. Nevada's Secretary of State says there are approximately 190,000 ballots to count, 90% of which are from heavily Democratic Clark County. The importance of it being Clark County is where Las Vegas is. Biden is running +8 there. So if 90% of the ballots are from Clark County, and Joseph R. Biden Jr. is running 8 points ahead, you all understand that that would very much imply a Joe Biden win in Nevada. That is the relevance of this tweet. Okay, so we got that. What else do we have? I have a lot of different things. So anyway, right now, Nevada is not there. Let's now look at state by state what is going on. So I already told you, and I'll tell you the changes from yesterday. Nevada has gone from a Biden plus 0.7 to Biden plus 0.9. Okay, so slightly improving in Nevada for Joe Biden. In Pennsylvania, you might remember yesterday when I was streaming, we started with a lead of like 6.9 for Trump. It went to 6.5, 6, 5.9, 5.5, and it was declining. Joe Biden is now only down by 1.5 in Pennsylvania. That is very, very close. And if we look at the trajectory, you can actually see here, Trump's biggest lead was right around the 37% mark when 37% of the vote had been counted. And then it went down, then it went back up a little bit. But since then, the vote in Pennsylvania has been getting better and better and better for Joe Biden. Similarly, in Georgia, it is now only 0.2% separating the two candidates. Okay, it is 12,800 votes, doing some rough math, separating the two candidates. And in Georgia, very similar thing. The biggest lead for Trump was here right around the 35% tallied mark, and it has been tightening ever since, and conceivably that could reverse. And then in Nevada, we saw a little bit of a different situation where Biden took a slightly larger lead, and the lead has tightened to where we are now with 90% of the vote remaining being from Clark County, which houses Las Vegas. One would assume that the lead would hold for Joe Biden, but we don't yet know. So all we can do is wait at this point in time. Now, in the meantime, Donald Trump has started filing lawsuits. He started filing. I don't even think he knows really who he's suing or for what, but they are alleging lawsuits in Michigan. They are alleging lawsuits in where else? Michigan. I think in Wisconsin, they want to recount. Lawsuit in Pennsylvania, lawsuit in Georgia. They're suing anybody they can. So that's interesting. Last thing, see here how Purdue versus Ossoff, Purdue is at 50%. This is very relevant because if Purdue were to drop below 50%, that would trigger a runoff in Georgia. It's a three-way race in Georgia. And if no candidate gets a majority, then there would be a runoff involving Jon Ossoff and David Perdue, which would just extend the possibility there. I don't know that it means Jon Ossoff wins, but that is going to be very, very interesting. I'm being told via a very strong Twitch message that Georgia's remaining votes aren't going to be counted until Saturday, or I don't know if they're saying on Saturday or by Saturday, but in any case, we're waiting for that. So that's very important to bear in mind as well. Okay, I have a ton of other stuff to go over as we continue to. So people asking, what is a runoff? So you've got three candidates in that race. A runoff would be a special election with just the top two vote getters. And in certain situations, if no candidate gets 50%, the top two vote getters, everybody else is out. The top two vote getters sort of have like their own new election. And, people asking why I'm not even talking about North Carolina. I don't think North Carolina is where Joe Biden is going to get over 50%, over 270 electoral votes. I don't think Biden gets North Carolina. And by the way, for some reason, I just don't know. It's been 24 hours since the last updates in North Carolina. There's just maybe even 30, 35 hours in North. I don't know what's happening in North Carolina. I've not gotten a clear answer. Couldn't tell you, but I am not counting on North Carolina to be what brings Joe Biden to victory at this point in time. So people are telling me that the vote count won't be updated at all in North Carolina until the 12th. I thought that they have until the 12th, but some people are telling me there will be no update until the 12th. Okay, well, let's wait and see. I want to say thanks to Makana Garcia, as well as Jack Watson and Heather Streck. I'm having trouble saying that. New members number 1, 2, and 3 on my website today. I appreciate that. Thanks for signing up at joinpacman.com. Let me also just set a starting point for us as far as Twitch goes. It looks like 7 people have signed up on Twitch, and that puts us at 1959, just to get us a baseline, because I don't want to lose track. Things get crazy, and I don't know what's going on. Okay, let me get to a few super chats just to see what's on people's minds. Parik Ravi says that on the Georgia Secretary of State website, Purdue is already below 50% at 49.99. Okay, yeah. Let's see when things go final. We'll get a sense of what's going on there. Barry says the west coast of Canada is rooting for Biden. Juicy Bacon says if the election result is decided by Amy Coney Barrett after it's been called for Joe Biden, we will see insane mass protests. I agree with you. Jose asks, what happens if Biden wins Nevada and nothing else? Then no one will have 270. No, if Biden wins Nevada, he gets 270. Again, I believe AP and Fox News on Arizona. So if Biden wins Nevada, that is 270, and Joseph R. Biden Jr. becomes the president-elect. Hasn't been called yet. But I do that. I am very, very, I feel confident about the Arizona call. Now, you guys want to see some wacky stuff? Let's get to some just wacky video. Let's see where first of all, before we get to wacky video, I don't know if you guys have been following Donald Trump's Twitter. He is just having a complete and total meltdown. He's retweeting Eric Trump's request to stop I would say, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Nevada, Georgia, and Wisconsin. They're claiming fraud. Almost all of Trump's tweets are misleading, and they've been flagged by Twitch. By Twitter. They should be flagged on Twitch anyway. They've been flagged by Twitter. Trump saying, stop the fraud. Of course, there is no evidence. Oh, hold on a second. There's no actual evidence of fraud at this point in time. Another one from Trump. All of the recent Biden claimed states will be legally challenged by us for voter fraud and state election fraud. Plenty of proof. Check out the media. Wait, so now the media tells us the truth? Trump's been campaigning against the fake news, phony fake media for 4 years. Now he says, just look at the media. They'll tell you about all the fraud. So there is a very strong warning on that. Trump says he had a big legal win in Pennsylvania. I believe that was then reversed and thrown out by the Pennsylvania Supreme Court. So that's in the trash. Trump demanding that the count be stopped. Guys, you can't let the vote counting get in the way of the election, which is basically counting votes. The vote counting is getting in the way of counting votes. And speaking of which, hold on, where are my tweets? Let's see. The contrast between Trump and Biden right now. Trump, I've already won. Vote counts must stop in Pennsylvania and Michigan. Recount Wisconsin, and I'm filing 7 lawsuits against fraudulent Democratic states. Biden came out yesterday and said, votes are still being counted. I believe I have a path to 270. And if I do win, we're going to reduce the temperature and I will be everybody's president. So a pretty dramatic contrast right now between the two candidates. According to Republicans, this is how you run the election fairly. You have to keep counting in Arizona. You have to count more slowly in Georgia. You have to stop counting Pennsylvania and Michigan. You have to recount Wisconsin. And every time there's a vote dump, as Trump calls them, that are heavily Biden, those definitely need to be thrown out. What else? And yes, as I said, counting votes is a fraudulent diversion from the primary function of elections, which is to count votes. So I've been tweeting up a storm today. I hope you guys are following me there. And then big news just minutes ago, NBC is reporting that Mark Esper, Trump's Secretary of Defense, has prepared a letter of resignation. So it's starting to get really, really interesting. And we're going to continue covering that. And I have a lot of interesting videos to play for you guys very, very soon. Okay, what else do we have going on? Other super chats. All Chad says Fox News will soon call Pennsylvania for Biden. I have no idea if that's true. Nate Silver said Nevada should be called for Biden. I don't know if that's true, guys. If someone wants to confirm that, I would be fine to pull up Fox News. You've read it on Twitter. Okay, let me see if I can find some Fox News Live. Fox News Live, and I'll put the screen back on momentarily. I just don't want to accidentally like dox myself or anything like that. Let's see, on air now. Cavuto is on again. Let's take a look at what's going on there.
You were probably wondering why the stock market was advancing today as it was yesterday, as it was the day before that, as it was the day before that.
Oh, this should be interesting.
In the face of all of this tumult and confusion. In fact, even more so now, post-election day, and all the new confusion. Why is that? Why are we now looking with 1 day to go, one of the best weeks for the markets since back in April, after one of the worst weeks for the markets since back in March? John Bussey, the Wall Street Journal Associate Editor with us, Heather Zumaraga, Zuma Global President. Heather, what's going on? It's got to be a disconnect, or is there a connect?
Right. Despite all of the election uncertainty, the stock market is still heading a lot higher, Neil, because of a few things, mainly because there's no blue wave, right? The Senate is going to.
I totally disagree with that. Guys, just look at the data. Just look at the data. Stocks do better when Democrats are president. Job creation's higher when Democrats are president. GDP growth is higher when Democrats are president. Inflation is lower when Democrats are president. You know, come on, guys. These explanations are just pathetic. Yeah, I think that the mind virus has spread to Fox News, as you all know. All right. We will. Oh, they're going to do another press conference in Philadelphia. Okay, let's do that then. We watched this live. If you guys were on stream yesterday with me, we watched this live. This is performance art, what I'm going to play for you guys. Yesterday, Rudy Giuliani was in Philadelphia with manila envelopes claiming he's filing 4 lawsuits, that he doesn't know that Biden didn't vote 5,000 times. And as he was delivering this rant, Fox cut in to say Biden has just won Michigan. It was an incredible, whoever wins, the comedic timing of Rudy Giuliani and Fox News, it has to be seen to be appreciated. Let's take a look at it.
Any one of these mail ballots. They could be from Mars as far as we're concerned, or they could be from the Democratic National Committee. Joe Biden could have voted 50 times as far as we know, or 5,000 times.
You have to wait for it.
The ballots could be from Camden. Philadelphia, unfortunately, and I would say this about my own city, has a reputation for voter fraud. You have a reputation for dead people voting.
Right.
We're going to go look at just how many dead people voted here. I didn't think we'd have to do that, but we will. And you have a reputation for people being bussed in from Camden voting here. Wouldn't be the first time that happened. But this goes way beyond any of that.
Right.
And let me also add.
This is the best.
That this isn't happening just here. We have exactly the same lawsuit in Wisconsin, where exactly the same thing happened. Except in Wisconsin, mysteriously at 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning.
So now Rudy gets confused.
About 120,000 ballots appeared.
Doesn't know what he's talking about.
Oh, here come these ballots. Well, we have no idea if they really are ballots. We have no idea.
So this is completely, understand, this is completely unfalsifiable. It's like, by this logic, you also don't know if Idaho's ballots are real ballots, right? But there's no reason to think that they're not.
If they're signed, if they're postmarked properly.
Bozemark.
If it isn't just the same person who submitted 100,000 ballots.
Right, one person, 100,000.
They all got counted. This is the way they intend to win.
All right, brace yourself.
Now I'm informed by former Congressman Sweeney, who's been...
We are continuing to monitor Rudy Giuliani. You might have noticed something happened to the electoral vote count for Joe Biden. Our decision desk has taken a look at Michigan and concluded Joe Biden has won Michigan and gets the 16 electoral votes from Michigan. That puts him now 6 electoral votes from the presidency of the United States. Nevada could do it. Those electoral votes are still out there.
It's just perfect.
You know, there's 6 electoral votes there. If he were to take that state, he would be at 270.
Right.
And he would be on his way to the White House. Now, back to the
Now
legal
watch Rudy with
challenges
his manila.
being
There it
mounted
is.
As we speak, by Team Trump.
You make sure that it's properly postmarked.
It's the comedic timing is just perfect. They go back and he's mid-sentence with the same nonsense, except he's taken out a manila folder at this point. So that's really great stuff. Glad to review that with you guys. We are standing by again for a Trump campaign press conference in Philadelphia. It might be Rudy again. There are Trump flags, and you know, a lot of people who are, I guess, feel very strongly that either something is being done wrong because votes aren't being counted, or something is being done wrong because votes are being counted. There's both going on right now. If you're just joining us, we've been reviewing all of the latest numbers and data. At this point in time, any one state that Joe Biden can win would clinch the presidency for him. There are rumors starting that Fox News may be first to, if there is a Joe Biden call, make that call. We're keeping an eye on Fox News. Pennsylvania now is down to a 1.4% lead for Donald Trump. This is the smallest lead that we've had since Election Day. Georgia is down to 0.2%, and the Nevada lead has pushed from 0.7 up to 0.9. some amazing numbers here as we are standing by for a Trump team press conference in Philadelphia, and we have no idea what it is that they're going to talk about. Okay. What's going on here? Let's see. Okay, nothing yet. We're going to keep a close eye on that. I again am seeing that people are questioning the Arizona call. I don't pretend to have any special knowledge on any of this stuff. All I know is Arizona was called by the Associated Press. The Associated Press has been perfect in their handling of this election so far. They have been very conservative. So on the Associated Press's say so at all, I believe Arizona. Fox News also said that they are completely confident in Arizona as well. I believe Arizona is going to be blue. At this point, I am fine with Arizona considered blue. So that's my view on it. And again, I'm not pretending to know anything special. I'm just going by what they have said. Okay. So we are standing by here for this Trump press conference. Okay. A couple of other things. I do see super chats coming in. So this is something I want to mention. Hat Mumfrey says, check out Mark Levin tweeting about electors. Mark Levin is, God, it's Lewandowski. Oh my God, it's Lewandowski. Lewandowski is completely unhinged. I don't know if you guys saw this earlier. Hold on, let me find the video. Where is the Lewandowski video? Check this out. This is what we're about to get more of.
What is going on in this city? What are you hiding? Open up the doors, let us in, let us 6 feet away so that we can have a free and fair election.
Okay, so Lewandowski is about to lose his mind. Let's see.
From the lawsuit, it says the County Board of Elections is aware of...
Okay, so we're standing by. We're gonna hear about that. I would get the kids out of the room. This is probably not safe for logic. Oh, and is that Pam Bondi? It is. Let's see.
Count ballots without any observation by any representatives
gum. Oh my God, and on a bullhorn.
Of President Trump and the Republican Party. The County Board of Elections is intentionally violating the state law, but we have the photograph taken by a Republican poll watcher.
This is about to be insane.
Watching the process, although he said he is not close enough. Neil, back to you.
All right. Thank you, Eric, Sean, for that. Pam Bondi and Corey Lewandowski seem to be ready to speak right now. Let's go to them.
What's been happening? They have refused to let us have a meaningful view of the vote count. They have continued to count the votes. Because they have done nothing to help us, they are not letting every legal vote count. They are letting anything come in. They are not letting us look at anything at all. Nothing. So we have filed in federal court. We have just filed a motion in
It's chaos.
for immediate injunctive relief to shut down the voting process.
Shut it down.
Until we can get a resolution where we can look at these ballots. There is a reason that they are suppressing the election results, the legal election results, because they will not let us look at the ballot. Whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, you should care about this. They're trying to suppress our voices now, and they will not do it. So we have filed in federal court for immediate injunctive.
Is this a skit, guys?
What kind of ballots would they do that would
Listen, guys, it's very simple here. A judge in this state issued a ruling that the Board of Elections has summarily dismissed.
No, the Supreme Court dismissed it. State Supreme Court dismissed it.
Because they would not follow the law of the state of Pennsylvania, we have filed for federal relief. Let's go. That is what we're doing because we will not let the people of Pennsylvania go without having an election observer for every single ballot. It is shameful. It is shameful that the boards of elections here in Pennsylvania thinks they do not have to listen to a judge's order. What
Pam Bondi can't even be bothered to stop chewing gum for this.
us inside to review this process, and the Board of Elections and your sheriff said no.
Sheriffs.
So what do? We go get relief by the federal government to make sure every legal vote is counted. Thank you very much.
Wow, what a moment for democracy, huh?
We believe every legal vote should be counted, and we have the right to look at those votes, and we're going to make sure every single vote is counted.
Seems high as a kite.
Thank you
Those were members of the Trump team.
It's mass hysteria. I mean, what a joke. It's complete and total mass hysteria. Oh, let's hear their commentary.
It's 5 o'clock in New York City, and this is the 5.
You know, I'm finding myself not even caring. It's complete and total mass hysteria going on. Oh, I had a couple of other streams going. Hold on, let me get them for you. So this is ABC News. I also wanted NBC, and I would actually maybe that's good. We've got the two feeds going on. What a complete and total mess. I'm told there's an update in Pennsylvania, although I'm not seeing it here. Let me see. I'm still seeing a 1.4% margin in Pennsylvania. Someone told me it was 0.2. Wow, Georgia is down to only a 9,500 vote margin. That is incredible. And still nothing new out of Pennsylvania. Still a 12,000 vote margin there. What a mess, guys. What an absolute and total mess. If you're just joining us, we're live on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. We're looking at the latest numbers, the latest data. We just saw a completely unhinged, they're calling it a press conference, but it was really just Pam Bondi chewing gum and yelling into a bullhorn loudspeaker, and Corey Lewandowski seemingly high as a kite, screaming at people. So the term press conference is extremely loose. It's a loose term. I'm using that term generously. Let me put it that way. But they did say things, and there was a camera there. So I think that's about as far as I'm willing to go. Kira McManus says your coverage of the election results are brilliant. If a case goes to the Supreme Court to stop counting votes or a recount, how would they rule? No idea. I would not even think of guessing how they would rule because it's so unpredictable. Okay, I want to give you guys some more updates on the last 24 hours, but before I do that, I do want to get some updated new member numbers and this type of thing. We have an additional 8 folks who signed up on my website, which puts us at 18. And then from the standpoint of Twitch, we're at 1987, which is another 28, puts us at 46. We do have this goal of 304 because that's the number. I mean, listen, this is just numbers, but that's the number of electoral votes that Donald Trump got in 2016. So it seems like a fair number. Okay. Let's look at some crazy stuff from the last few hours. Let me see. We looked at the Trump Twitter already. Let's just see if he tweeted anything else. He has been just losing it. Oh, okay. So I don't know if this is a protest to start the vote counting or to stop the vote counting. There's both going on simultaneously. As you guys know, sometimes you win by not counting. Sometimes you win by counting. I don't even know. Check this out. They broke into song here. Take a listen to this.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies.
Oh my God.
White with gold.
Ooh, the high notes crushing him. Brutal. Okay, so anyway, these are defiant protesters with very powerful demands. Either that the vote counting stop or that the vote counting start, even if there are no more votes left to count. I don't know which type of protest this is. Let's look at one other video from this.
We are every legal vote will count it. We will. We're counting every vote, every legal vote. Legal votes matter. Legal votes matter.
Legal votes matter. Saturday Night Live is canceled. Saturday Night Live is irrelevant and now at this point. There's no more reason for Saturday Night Live. So that was one protest. Okay, I already pointed out my tweets. Now, these are other protests. These I'm pretty sure. So that first protest, I think, was to start counting. This protest is to stop counting. This was from the TCF Center in Detroit.
Stop the vote! Stop the vote!
Stop the vote! Stop the vote!
Stop the vote!
Yeah.
Stop the vote! Stop the vote! Stop
So they don't want voting to happen, I guess. And let me see if there were any other videos. Oh, yeah, I showed this on the regular show today on my podcast. By the way, if you guys aren't subscribed to my podcast, please do. It's completely free. It's called The David Pakman Show. It's like on any platform you want. This was an email sent out saying they need poll challengers to show up at the TCF Center in Detroit. And they did. And that's exactly what they did. So that was there. Then this is also Detroit. This is also you have to remember there's stop and start the vote protest. This is a stop the vote protest in the building.
Stop that count! Stop that count! Stop that count! Stop that count! Stop that count!
Yeah. So the world continues to laugh at us. And then okay, now this is a start the count protest. This one is in Phoenix. You'll see at least one guy with a long gun in this video. And this one was in Phoenix. Here they do want votes to be counted.
Shame on Fox! Shame on Fox!
Shame on Fox!
Shame on Fox!
Shame on Fox!
Shame on Fox!
Shame on Fox!
And you see this guy here has, this guy's very sweaty. This guy has a long gun, and this seems almost like a Kevlar, almost like a belly protector. I don't know what this guy, maybe that's kind of a utility belt or something. Anyway, at least he's not fully decked out in tactical gear, because you know that can get pretty crazy. Here's another one.
Stop the steal!
Stop the steal!
Stop the steal!
Stop the steal!
So that's a stop the steal protest. The firearms increase. This guy with an open carry gun and a pretty sizable flag, I guess. And then here was another guy. This is Rich, who says he's 30. Says he's mad because Biden wants to tax his guns, like the AR-15. And as you can see, desert camouflage does not work well against blacktop, I guess. You know, it's not exactly, you know, you're not going to really be able to hide with that color there. You need a different color. This guy's an operator for sure. So that's going on. So that's kind of the gist of it. Oh, here's just one more. This is also Arizona. Here they had a Fox News sucks chant. This is the last one, then we'll look at the ballot count.
A lot of people in the crowd are not wearing masks. We're keeping a respectful distance, but a loud and very boisterous crowd. You'll start hearing them start up here. And they're actually chanting, Fox News sucks.
Yeah.
Fox News sucks. The reason why they're chanting that is because Fox News called Arizona for Biden.
It's actually kind of funny. Like, it's MSNBC. So MSNBC viewers, generally, it's like you don't need to explain to them why Fox News sucks. But I like that the reporter has the presence of mind to realize that the reason these people are chanting Fox News sucks is very different from why the MSNBC audience believes Fox News sucks. So you have to kind of clarify the reason why Fox News sucks, at least as far as they're concerned. Okay, so we've gotten that out of the way. Oh, okay, last thing. So this is kind of funny. I mentioned yesterday that our election night stream, which is up beyond 1.4 million views, that you guys on YouTube, the YouTube viewers broke the subscriber button on election night. And so yesterday when we looked at the subscriber numbers from the stream, it said 33 because you triggered a spam alert on YouTube. Too many people were signing up. We now have the numbers, and somewhere between 5,000 and 6,000 new subscribers came in during that stream, which is just unbelievable. Just an incredible number. As far as numbers are concerned, it's a really, 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 really strong number. Okay, very good. So let's get to the, David Perdue did fall below 50%. That would trigger a runoff, which is delightful. I mean, just absolutely, absolutely delightful. Oh yeah, 1.1 million. We actually, you guys tell me. I don't know if YouTube rather has made the number public because it sometimes takes a while. But we did hit 1.1 million subscribers. Yeah, we got beyond the 1 million. We did hit 1.1 million just a few minutes ago. So that's strong. Okay, let me get an update on these numbers. So Nevada, nothing new. Again, Nevada gave one small update. They went from 75 to 76% today. It increased Biden's lead by 0.2 of a point, and then Nevada said no more. I don't get why. Pennsylvania is still at a 1.4% lead for Donald Trump. Georgia is still at a 0.2% lead for Donald Trump. And it is down to just 9,500 votes, 9,500 vote margin there. And North Carolina, I don't know why. If someone in the chat wants to explain it to me, there's been no new reporting from North Carolina for 24 hours. A couple people said they're reporting nothing until next Wednesday or Thursday or something like that. I'm not too sure about that. I just am not sure about that. And then refreshing any state. If Joe Biden gets any of the 4 remaining states, he would clinch the presidency of the United States. One really interesting thing, and I don't want to make too much of this. Breaking news, David Perdue below 50%. Beautiful news. I don't want to make too much of this because I'm not really looking to like go out and trigger people or anything like that. But for the last 4 years, violent Trumpists have been trolling me incessantly on Twitter, on Instagram, emailing me. I'm getting, 20 voicemails a day from Jimmy from Philly and from Troy York and all these different people. I haven't heard from a single Trumpist in 48 hours. And if indeed Joe Biden were to win, my prediction is you would just see these Trumpists disappear for like 6 months. And then they would reappear as anti-Biden trolls 6 months from now, acting as if Trump? I don't know anything about Trump. Biden's bad. I don't remember anything about Trump. That's my prediction. That's my prediction about what we would expect. But I have to tell you, I love that I'm not hearing from them. Although, let me just briefly look at my voicemails to see if anybody did leave a voicemail. Because maybe we did hear. They always call from blocked numbers. I think that Troy York did leave one. Let's take a listen. Hold on.
Yeah, David Pakman, I saw your latest 6-minute commentary. Once again, you speak with forked tongue. This is not about Trump. The 67 million people do not necessarily vote for Trump. What they vote against is the corrupt global system where rich people from other lands, like your family, for instance.
So there you go. So that's what you have to understand. When he says global people like my family, this is code for Jews. I really want people to understand this. That's code for Jews. Globalist, as you all know, for a while has been a term that's wrapped up with just anti-Semitic conspiracies and the like. So when global people like my family, that means Jews, guys. This is what we're dealing with here. And by the way, forked tongue. Yeah, I know I'm skipping over that. Obviously, now I think it's pretty clear.
Who have corrupted their own countries can come here and meddle with our affairs.
Meddling.
Our politics. And
forked tongue globalists like me from other countries are meddling with United States affairs.
Enrich themselves.
And and self-enrichment. So I think we've squeezed all anti-Semitic tropes into the first 30 seconds. Anyway, he goes on for 3 more minutes, but I won't give any of that to you. And then what else do I have? Let me see if any. So I guess there was one Trump troll that called in, but that's all I've got right now. Yeah. So anyway, the point is the Trump trolls have certainly slowed down. They've slowed down. That's for sure. Okay. Mrs. Hippie Freak wants me to explain a Senate runoff. Says she's 46 years old and has never heard of this. Okay, let's do that. Let's explain a Senate runoff. So let's go to Senate. I will explain this to you right now. Let's look at Georgia. Okay, in Georgia right now, this is a 3-way race. Incumbent Republican David Perdue, Democratic challenger John Ossoff, and Libertarian Shane Hazel. In a three-way race. So in this Georgia Senate race, the winner must get 50% of the vote. Okay. So in a three-way race, if David Perdue gets 50% of the vote or 51% or 52%, he wins. If no candidate gets a majority of the vote, there is a runoff election between the top two vote getters, which in this case would be David Perdue or John Ossoff. You eliminate Shane Hazel, and then David Perdue and John Ossoff have a special election. Now, I have to be upfront, which is my instinct is once you eliminate the Libertarians go more for David Perdue than they do for John Ossoff. So I don't see Ossoff winning with this exact electorate in the recount. Now, the runoff. I don't know the exact runoff rules. If additional Democrats can vote in the runoff, maybe they would be buoyed by the momentum of a potential Biden win if we get one, and maybe John Ossoff could take it. That would be very interesting. But that's how a runoff election works. Okay. Breaking news from Joe Biden.
In Philadelphia, you can perhaps help us understand their pace and how they're doing. Rayma?
One of the things, Lester, one of the things I should tell you is that we are, to your point, expecting a pressure from the Secretary of State who oversees elections here in this area.
That could be huge.
What they're saying is that experts, officials expect that most of the voting will be counted possibly by tomorrow, and who knows, maybe even sooner. The numbers that we're seeing, as Chuck has been pointing out, Biden is shrinking Trump's lead here. Interestingly enough,
significant shrinkage.
An aggressive campaign in court to intervene in the mail ballot counting. They went into court saying, in their words, that election officials were hiding the mail ballot counting from Republican poll observers. What they got this morning.
How funny is it that most people would like to start counting the mail-in ballots in Pennsylvania as they come in? The law is they can't start counting them until the polls close. Now they're mad that the mail-in ballots are suddenly being counted. It's lunacy.
Of that, Philadelphia, and where the counting is going on behind me, they paused the counting because they said they wanted to review that court ruling. Subsequently, they resumed that counting, and they say they're going furiously. Let me just add a couple of numbers in here to show you how fast it seems to be going. When I left here from reporting at about 1 o'clock in the morning, the state was saying that they had something like 763,000 mail-in ballots statewide still to be counted.
Wow.
When I came back at about 11 o'clock this morning, that number was 369,000.
Wow.
That's upwards of 400,000+ mail-in ballots they had counted. So they say they're moving furiously. The state attorney general here in Pennsylvania has said that they are going to count all of these ballots, regardless who it favors. They're planning to count every single one of them. Lester?
And we saw, I think we had a graphic up earlier that Biden is certainly outperforming at a large level the president in Philadelphia. Chuck, you were...
So the big news is very soon we're expecting actually to hear from the Pennsylvania Secretary of State about what is going on with the count. Let's see if George Stephanopoulos or maybe even Nate Silver here have anything to say.
The Secretary of State just reported that 90% of the remaining ballots are in Clark County, which is very blue. I do not think there is a path back for Trump in Nevada unless there's something we don't know. Arizona's tricky. We have different types of ballots. We have some provisional ballots in Arizona. We have some late arriving early ballots. We have ballots that were dropped off on Election Day. I think Trump's case is a bit more plausible there, but he needs a lot of breaks to win in Arizona. But Nevada is a state where I just don't think there's a path.
So, and Arizona is still an uphill climb.
Arizona uphill, but doable. You can make assumptions where Arizona works out for Trump. Nevada, I think Biden's lead's going to grow there. It might wind up being a more comfortable margin in the end for him.
Let's talk about Georgia now. We've seen the lead now drop into the teens there, and we also potentially have 2 Senate races in play.
Yeah, so if you look at the rate at which Biden is accumulating votes, he's winning votes about 70-30, the mail votes. So he is on track to actually overtake Trump narrowly. But the comment earlier about we don't know for sure how many votes there are, that's important, right? If there are as many votes as Secretary of State says, or more, I think Biden is on track to overtake Trump. But sometimes there are different numbers of ballots than you expect.
Wow.
Right. Sometimes they've actually been processed, but the Secretary of State didn't know it. The county had finished it, but they hadn't turned it in to the state.
yeah, they can wind up in limbo. Sometimes there's an overcount or an undercount, or it's provisional ballots instead of uncounted ballots. So you have to take everything with a certain grain of salt when you're kind of looking at the number of outstanding ballots.
And then when you go up to Pennsylvania, you have several 100,000 ballots in play. One number I heard most recently was about 400,000. We've now seen Joe Biden close the lead to below 100,000. What does that tell you?
I mean, this is the big problem for Donald Trump is Pennsylvania. That's the one where it might, I mean, there's uncertainty, right? But it might not wind up being all that close, because, look, I mean, people forget that, like, it's not as though these are coming in late per se. They were often ballots that were sent in by mail early, and the mail balloting in Pennsylvania, not to say they usually had a big absentee program, it's just very, very, very blue. Biden winning by 50 points in a lot of these mail ballots. And so there's a certain inevitability in Pennsylvania, where even red counties in Pennsylvania, the mail ballot is pretty pro-Biden. And so I don't know. I mean, I can't imagine a world where the math looks good for Trump. Maybe somehow there's things.
Very interesting breathing patterns from Nate Silver. I've never noticed that before, but people are pointing it out. That is interesting. We are awaiting an update from the Secretary of State of Pennsylvania. The people on Fox News are, continuing to rant and rave. That's really no surprise, but the numbers moving very, very slowly. Nevada presumably done for the night. We could get a big, as Trump calls it, a ballot dump, and he gets really angry when these dumps happen. In Pennsylvania, Georgia has gotten exceedingly close, 0.2%, only 9,500. In fact, 9,525, 9,525, it looks like at quick glance, votes separating the two candidates at this point in time. And any one of these four states for Joe Biden would do it. Any one of those four states would do it for Joe Biden. So that's what we are monitoring at this point in time. Okay, what else do we... I saw some people asking, do I think COVID news disappears if Biden wins? Now, that's a Trump talking point. And speaking of COVID, I don't, it's hard to sometimes keep at everything that is going on. There were 108,000 cases of coronavirus yesterday. This is a single day record for the United States. And we're back to 1,200 deaths a day. We're back to 1,200 deaths a day. Today, already and let me refresh, actually. We just found 11,000 new cases while we were talking. 97,000 new cases today and 980 deaths. So there is no chance that if Joe Biden, Trump believes it's all political. So he's been saying on November 4th, if Biden wins or whatever, whenever we find out the winner. Oh, hold on a second. Let's see what's going on here.
The Pennsylvania Secretary of State speaking now.
This is huge. Incredibly hard. Hundreds of thousands of ballots have been counted so far today, and we're in very good shape. But there's still some to count. So they are working incredibly hard. They're going to keep counting into the evening, and stay tuned. So let's see. We've been reaching out. We've been very closely in touch with all 67 counties, making sure that they're reporting on as regular basis as possible.
Is there any news?
All of you, everybody around the country, around the state are eagerly awaiting, and I can tell you the counties are too. They are really taking their time, making sure that every single voter in the Commonwealth who has cast their ballot is having those ballots accurately and securely counted. So, as you know, we're going to keep counting. Military and overseas ballots, I think, are coming in. Those will continue to be accepted through next Tuesday. There are obviously provisional ballots that will have to be counted as well after the initial round of ballots. And, I think whatever the outcomes are, I can tell you that I'm so proud to work with the 67 counties, the election officials who are just doing an amazing job getting these counted accurately and securely. So I am happy, I think, with that, to take your questions. Yes.
The integrity of the election has certainly been questioned quite a bit over the past several days, and it seems to be intensifying now in these final states that we're waiting to hear from. What is your message to the people of Pennsylvania and to the people of the country about the way things work here in Pennsylvania?
So, as we've been talking about for months, Pennsylvanians have more choices on how they've been able to vote this year than they've ever had in the history of the Commonwealth. And no matter how they voted, what's critical here is that we have very strong processes in place that make sure that voting integrity and security are constantly followed by every county in the state. So, for example, we talked about, I think it was yesterday, voting by mail in Pennsylvania. So the processes we found, though it's new under Act 77 that we can all vote by mail, it's the same processes that we've used for decades for absentee voting. So voters have to apply. They're checked against either the Social Security database or the PennDOT database. They're checked against their voter record to make sure that they're a qualified voter and they are who they say they are. They cast their ballot, and then they're checked again when the ballot is received that they were actually an approved voter. Very secure. There's really, like, the strength of the integrity of this vote is really unparalleled. Same when you vote in person, right? You have to be registered, you go in, you sign in the poll book. All these things are tracked. Our voting systems.
It seems we're not getting any data.
Make sure that no voter can cast more than one vote. It literally has a hard stop should anybody even try. And the counties, again, as I've talked about, the amazing county election officials, they take this so seriously. They are such professionals. So, I can just say, really, no matter how you chose to vote this year, and so many Pennsylvanians have, and it looks like it's really going to be great turnout when we finalize the numbers, that every method is incredibly safe and secure. Yes. I'm sorry. Yes, sir.
Hi, Secretary. Hey, you've said, if I understand it correctly, that enough results may be coming in tonight for people to have a handle on who the winner in the presidential race is. What's your basis for thinking that? Can you put a finer point on it? How long? What makes you say that?
So the counties are continuing to count, and so obviously, depending on how close the race is, that impacts whether you. So the final results are not certified until 20 days after the election, right? So I want to be clear, there's no final results happening now anyway. What's happening now is having enough ballots counted to actually see who the winner is, right? The farther apart that is, the easier it is to tell. So it's very close in Pennsylvania, right? There's no question. And so that means.
So do we want to stop the count or start the count in Pennsylvania? I'm trying to figure out what Trump wants here.
There's several 100,000 ballots remaining to be counted. You can track all that, what counties it remains in. Look at our website, and you'll be able to see how we get to the conclusion. But, either way, I want to be clear that these are just the mail-in and absentee votes and the in-person votes, right? The overwhelming majority, I think, the huge majority of the in-person votes have been counted. We're in a very good place with the mail-in and absentee ballots, but not quite there yet. But then there's still going to be provisional ballots, the military and overseas ballots, and so forth. So the closer the race is, the longer it takes. But I think what I've said all along is that the overwhelming majority of ballots will be counted by Friday. I still think that we're ahead of the schedule, and we actually already have counted the overwhelming majority of ballots, but because it's a close race, it's not quite clear yet who the winner is. So. Yes.
Kathy Bukvar, she's the Secretary of State in Pennsylvania. Flashes of optimism there, and not an easy job with the entire country.
All right, so that's the Pennsylvania Secretary. Oh, did we just miss Biden?
Still waiting to hear what that final vote.
Oh no, that was yesterday. That was yesterday. Oh, I would have been very disappointed to it. That was the yesterday Biden speech. That would have been sad. And let's see what's happening on Fox News. Fox News still carrying this. Let's pick up on a little bit of it.
Passed statewide. And of those, how many have been counted and reported?
So very few have been counted, and because that usually happens following the counting of the other ballots. So that you won't see. Counties are not going to start that until after they've finished with the others generally. So we don't know yet. We've been reaching out to the counties. I know I can't remember if it was you or somebody else who asked me both about provisional ballot numbers and numbers of ballots arriving after Election Day, after 8 p.m. on Election Day. So provisional ballots, I think we've heard from maybe 2/3 of the counties. So I don't have a firm number yet. And as soon as we do, we'll be able to report those numbers.
Can you give me your best estimate?
The provisional ballots, I think it's still early yet. So let's touch base again after I have more than the number that I have so far. Yeah.
No guesstimate at all?
It doesn't. It's the context matters, right? So if I tell you a number that reflects 41 counties, it could be not reflective of the whole because it matters which counties they are. So we will circle back with you.
Prudent.
Yes.
Oh, great.
You, sorry.
I know that you stand by the integrity of the election so far. Have you or any of the counties investigated any specific allegations of voter fraud?
No. I mean, I'm not aware of any. I should say you probably heard some weeks ago that there was a gentleman in Luzerne County who tried to apply for a ballot for his deceased mother.
Are you sure he was a gentleman?
Heard that, but that was several weeks ago. That was the only incident that I am aware of in this year. Yeah. Yes, sir.
I know that you said a minute ago that you guys have counted the vast majority of the in-person election day votes. Can you give us a more specific sense of how many of those are outstanding? Is it fewer than the remaining mail-in votes?
Oh, yeah. If you go to our website and the supplemental dashboard, if you look at like the pie chart, it's a tiny sliver. It may be that 99% are counted. So whether it's 99 or 98.5, go to the dashboard and it will tell you.
More beyond the mail-in ballots that are.
No, I mean, there's a tiny fraction of precincts that aren't.
All right, so I think we're getting a sense here. The only real news is they're counting ballots, and she feels really good about where they are as far as the counting goes, not as far as the data. So as of right now, no update. 90,000 votes separate Donald Trump and Joe Biden in Pennsylvania. No update in North Carolina at all today. Georgia separated by 95-25 votes with 99% reporting. And in Nevada, still no updates with a 12,000, not even quite, about 11,400 vote margin between the two candidates. So that's what we are seeing there. And I know people keep joining the stream and saying, what's the status? The status is this. Any one of these four states, presuming that Alaska does eventually go for Trump and that there has been no problem with the AP and Fox News calling Arizona, any one of these four remaining states, Nevada, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, or Georgia, would seal the deal for Joseph R. Biden Jr. So that's where we are right now. Okay. Oh, by the way, I haven't said a word about popular vote. Just to remind everybody what's going on with popular vote. Donald Trump has fallen below 48% of the popular vote. Most people voted for Joe Biden, more than 50%. Joe Biden's lead is now 3.57. Check me on that. 3.57 million more votes than Donald Trump. And as all of you probably imagine if you're watching from other countries, one candidate got 3.5 million more votes. It's sensible to me to make them president. Of course, we have an electoral college system, and that is not exactly the way that it works here. And I know, by the way, I've been having a bunch of people write to me lately saying, you know, David, you're missing some of the upsides of the Electoral College. Okay, that may be, but I'm still against it. And we would have a far simpler situation here and a much more representative one of just the average person, And that is what I want. Okay. Oh, people are saying Biden did just speak. If that's the case, I would actually like to grab that. Let's see, how long ago was it? Donald Trump. Yeah, maybe I'd have to find that video separately. Let me see. Hold on a second. Is it on? Does anybody know if it's on the Joe Biden YouTube channel? Joe Biden live an hour ago. Oh, it looks like he gave a 1-minute statement. Okay, yeah, let's just listen to that. It's very, very short, so we can listen to it together.
Harris and I just completed briefings on both COVID and the economic crisis facing this nation. And we're reminded again of the severity of this pandemic. Cases are on the rise nationwide, and we're nearing 240,000 deaths due to COVID. And our hearts go out to each and every family that has lost a loved one to this terrible disease. In America, the vote is sacred. It's how people of this nation express their will. And it is the will of the voters, no one, not anything else, that chooses the President of the United States of America. So, each ballot must be counted. And that's what we're going to see going through now. And that's how it should be. Democracy is sometimes messy. It sometimes requires a little patience as well. But that patience has been rewarded now for more than 240 years with a system of governance that's been the envy of the world. And we continue to feel, Senator and I, we continue to feel very good about where things stand. We have no doubt that when the count is finished, Senator Harris and I will be declared the winners.
Wow.
So I ask everyone to stay calm, all the people to stay calm. The process is working. The count is being completed, and we'll know very soon. So thank you all for your patience, but we have to count the votes. God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. Thank you so much.
Wow. Joseph R. Biden Jr. has said more publicly and provided more public leadership in the last 24 hours on coronavirus than the actual president. Not sure if that is something you all have noticed, but that does not look so good for Trump. Okay, let me get some updated numbers here. We have, for the first time ever, breached 2,000 subs on Twitch. And because we were previously at 1987, that gives us 14 more, putting us at 60. I also want to say thanks to people who signed up on my website, now 22, which is an additional 11 from where we were, putting us at 71. I don't want to, we have so much going on. I don't want to spend a lot of time on memberships or anything like that, but I do want to mention two things. Number one, we are counting Twitch subs and website memberships together now. People just seem to like it. I don't know. Everybody likes it, so I'm doing it. I do what you guys want. We are not stopping the count, I think is the point I'm trying to make. The count will continue, and every membership, every sub will be counted. That's my promise to you. But the other thing is, we are taking a fresh start now that we are beyond the 2020 election. And as a result, we have a new coupon code, Fresh Start, all one word. And it is, we just lost Twitch subs. I think what's happening is a lot of monthly memberships are expiring right now. That's weird. We just went down. My point is, grab yourself a membership at joinpacman.com. It's our number one funding source. You know, all these different platforms, they use algorithms and complicated things. Are we on their good side or on their bad side? Facebook was great for us in October. Facebook is down 80% in November. Why? We don't know. We never know. I'm not alleging that it's fraud, and I'm not alleging that it's fraud. I'm not alleging either. I'm just saying it's very up and down. So if you've appreciated the streams the last few days, I would love it for you to grab a membership at joinpacman.com. I encourage you to try to crash the website. We've quadrupled resources, and the website is feeling so strong right now. And of course, Fresh Start as a coupon code will save you 70%. We've taken a lot of cancellations lately, I'll be honest, because of what's going on with the virus. Economically, another 800,000 people lost their jobs this week. And we've some days we have 30, 40, 50 cancellations. So your support, if you can throw a couple bucks our way, it's actually $1. It's like $1.80 a month with the coupon code. It is very much appreciated. Also, a huge thank you to Gotham Chess Levy Rosman for gifting 20 subs. By the way, if you guys haven't seen all of the great Queen's Gambit series related content, just to get don't leave, okay? We're getting away from politics for like a minute. There is a tremendous new series on Netflix called The Queen's Gambit, based on a novel about a young female chess prodigy who has a little bit of a hankering for the tranks, if you understand what I'm saying. Fantastic series, and a lot of great chess streamers, including our friend Levy Rosman, have been doing great content around it. It's an absolutely fantastic series, and I encourage you to check out the series, check out Levy's content on it, and some of our other friends, Alex Botez, Agadmator. He's not really, I don't think he even knows I'm alive, but I think he does some good content. They've all been doing great stuff. I don't know if our friend Ben Feingold has done content on the series, but Ben Feingold's also a good guy, and sometimes he's in the chat, so I want to mention him. But yes, Beth Harmon, often encouraged to play the Sicilian, doesn't always do it, but check it out. It's really, really good. And am I reading anything right now? I mentioned yesterday, I'm getting through some of Blake Crouch's older work. Blake Crouch, a great friend of the show. I've interviewed him before. Okay, hold on. What's going on here? Oh, this is earlier. We played this earlier. Yeah, I don't know what else. I'm reading Good Economics for Hard Times as well by Abhijit. I believe his name is Abhijit Banerjee, and his wife, Esther Duflo. Oh, by the way, just one other thing before people completely rip my head off for doing non-politic stuff. The actress in Queen's Gambit, Anya Taylor-Joy, she is half Argentinian. Now, I'm full Argentinian. She's half Argentinian. If you find interviews of her being interviewed in Spanish, she speaks with the same Argentinian accent that I speak with. Beautiful moment. Beautiful moment. Okay. I'm told Donald Trump Jr. is tweeting absolutely ungodly things on Twitter. So let's take a look at that. Donald Trump Jr. Let's see what he's tweeting. I can only imagine. He's been losing it all day. This was flagged by Twitter. WTF. If it doesn't exist, nothing will be exposed. Why would they be against finding election fraud? His previous tweet was the total lack of action from virtually all of the 2024 Republican hopefuls is amazing. They have a perfect platform to show that they're willing and able to fight, but they will cower to the media mob instead. Don't worry, Trump will fight and they can watch as usual. Oh my God, who cares what Don Jr. is saying? He's out of his mind. Saying no one's surprised that Lindsey Graham hasn't tweeted in 24 hours. Retweeting Lou Dobbs saying this is the most corrupt election in American history. No, it's not. No, it's not. What on earth is he talking about? Oh, 6 p.m. Oh, this is good. So maybe we can catch this. Georgia Republican Committeewoman Ginger Howard will hold a press conference at 6 p.m. Eastern. Okay, that I would like to find. Does anybody know who is... they're filing lawsuits everywhere. They don't even know who they're suing and for what. Okay, people also want me to pull up Greta Thunberg's Twitter, that she's trolling Trump. Let's see what she had to say. So ridiculous. Donald must work on his anger management problem, then go to a good old-fashioned movie with a friend. Chill, Donald, chill. Okay, very good. So Greta Thunberg getting in on the action. So Georgia Republican press conference. Let's see if anybody's scheduled to carry it. I'm not seeing anything. If anybody's aware of who might be covering that, my hope is that either ABC or NBC will cover that at the top of the hour. So far, no mention of it. This is the Pennsylvania election update, which we already saw. Let's take just a brief listen and see what NBC is saying.
Lawsuits that might stick in other states.
Well, there's both the legal fight and the public relations fight. On the latter part, we heard from Andrew Bates, a campaign spokesperson, saying simply that this is not the behavior of a winning campaign, trying to argue that the fact that they're trying to get lawyers involved rather than voters involved shows what they think.
All right, so we'll keep an eye on this. There's some completely unhinged Republican event in Georgia planned for the top of the hour, so let's see what happens. I'm excited to see what it is that they're going to say. Okay. Let's see. Steve Bannon called for Fauci and the FBI director to be beheaded. Oh, come on, guys. Check your Twitter notifications. If people can confirm that that's actually true and get me a tweet link, I will pull it up. I don't want to be tricked. If that sounds completely impossible. So if people can, if people find, oh, he did. People are saying he did. There's no way. Hold on. Steve Bannon Twitter. Steve Bannon, Stephen K. Bannon. It's on video. Hold on. Steve, I'm trying to kind of like triage it myself. I'm not seeing anything. It's on a video of a show he did. Okay, let's see. Steve Bannon, Fauci, behead. I mean, how is this even possible? On a podcast appearance. Yeah, I don't know. If people can get the link to Jabby Gats, one of our Twitch moderators, Jabby Gats is gonna can triage it, and then will let me know. People saying just search Twitter for Bannon. Let's see. Bannon. I'm not going to share the video, but Steve Bannon called for the beheading of Dr. Oh my God. Oh my God, look at this.
And that's the second term. Second term kicks off with firing Ray, firing Fauci. Now, I actually want to go a step farther, but I realize the president is a kind-hearted man and a good man. I'd actually like to go back to the old times of Tudor England. I'd put the heads on pikes, right? I'd
oh
put
my
them
God.
at the two corners of the White House as a warning to federal bureaucrats. You either get with the program or you're gone. Time to stop playing games. Blow it all out. Put Rick Grinnell today as the interim head of the FBI. That'll light him up, right? You know what, Steve? Just yeah.
How is that not terrorism? What? I'm just gonna send this to myself because I'll probably want to cover that. Wow, I you know, in other times, my skepticism that Steve Bannon would that such someone so closely associated with the president would call for the beheading of the top infectious disease doctor, we could have ignored it. I was wrong. I was wrong to assume that Steve Bannon was not calling for people to be beheaded. It is unbelievable. Oh, people want to see the rest of the video. Okay, we can do it.
Yesterday, there was the anniversary of the hanging of two Tories in Philadelphia. These were Quaker businessmen who had cohabitated, if you will, with the British while they were occupying Philadelphia. These people were hung. This is what we used to do to traitors. That's how you won the revolution. Nobody wants to talk about it. Revolution wasn't some sort of garden party, right?
Oh, my God.
It was a civil war. It was a civil war.
Yeah, a lot of people. I thought I was getting baited. People in the chat thought I was getting baited, and then it's like he says, "Yeah, put their heads on pikes." Let me just hear it one more time.
And that's the second term. Second term kicks off with firing Ray, firing Fauci. Now, I actually want to go a step farther, but I realize the president.
Oh, there's people saying that he's suggesting that they be hung, not beheaded. But if you put their heads on pikes, haven't you removed their heads?
Is a kind-hearted man and a good man. I'd actually like to go back to the old times of Tudor England. I'd put the heads on pikes, right? I'd put them at the two corners of the White House as a warning.
Okay, yeah. See, he is talking about. I mean, I think you need to do that. Anyway, I don't want to get into the. Oh, they were joking. Oh, I gotcha. It was just all a joke. It's a joke, guys. I'm sorry. Okay. Andrew says, should I be sharing this? Rebroadcasting death threats is not a good idea. Fauci's a public person. Oh, here's the Georgia of. Oh no, this is earlier. Let's see what was said earlier.
Actual results are reflective of the voters' intent. The issue we have in Georgia is, like I just said, it's a close vote. There's other states that have more votes to count than we do, but it's a wide margin, so nobody cares. So this is the first time we've used paper ballots in this state in 20 years.
Vote it is. Donald Trump holding a point.
Okay, so they're expecting another. We're about 10 minutes from more insanity coming from the Atlanta Republican Party. If somebody does have a specific link to this event scheduled in Georgia with the Republican Party in 10 minutes, somehow let me know that it's going on, because I'm hoping that someone will take it. Priscilla Thompson here is in Atlanta, and we're watching a couple of different streams, but it's possible that they also won't. We're keeping an eye on Fox News as well. Greg Gutfeld, this is a funny story about Greg Gutfeld. Somehow Greg Gutfeld came across. Oh, here's the Greg Gutfeld story. Greg Gutfeld said something that sounded crazy to me, and I retweeted it with my commentary. And then he wrote back and he said, it's being taken out of context. And I looked at it in broader context, and it was true that his comment, it was about Nazis or something, was taken out of context. So I corrected it. And he wrote to me privately and he said, hey, you know what? I really appreciate that. A lot of people won't do that. I look forward to seeing your content. I'm going to follow you. And for a while, Greg Gutfeld was following me. And then it didn't last very long. Clearly, he wasn't liking what I was what I was tweeting. So then he very quietly unfollowed me, and I never heard from him again. So that's my Greg Gutfeld story. Big Dave Rubin friend. He's a big Dave Rubin friend, Greg Gutfeld, I think. All right, let's get updated numbers from my website. We now have 60 website subscribers, which is an additional 38, putting us at 109. Also, over on Twitch, we went from 2001 to 2043, which is an additional 32, putting us at 141. How's that for some math, huh? Can you imagine? People saying I should see it, what was going on. Trump going live in 45. Oh, is that true? Oh, I don't want to miss a Trump event. Let's take a look at that. Trump. Is that actually, let's see. All of his tweets seem, Acosta tweeted about it. Okay, he hasn't tweeted about it. If Trump's going live, we have to cover that. Okay, White House, Trump to speak in briefing room at 6:30. Oh boy. I was going to cut the stream at 6:30. The thing is that probably means he's not coming back until like 8 p.m. Let's see if there are any who would be covering it. Trump press briefing. That is going to be an absolute mess. I can't even imagine what that's going to be like. Okay, let's see if anybody else is announcing that that's going to be happening.
Exactly. That ruling came down earlier around midday today. And essentially, this lawsuit was filed earlier this week, and it stems from two Republican poll observers.
They're not mentioning it here yet.
But I do think it's important to make clear there is no basis in law for a claim that counting must stop simply because it sounds like the president likes how the numbers look.
It's nice on November 3rd, you're watching and you see who won the election. But you know what? We won't know. We might not know for months.
Right. No, I think we'll know in a couple days. And then Fox News here, not saying anything either. Okay, so we are expecting Donald Trump at the bottom of the hour. That's very interesting. Very, very interesting. David, his advisors are trying to stop him from speaking. Can somebody get me a link on that? Where are people finding that? That would be fascinating if that were true. His advisors are trying to stop him from speaking. That's hilarious. Oh my God. What wild times we live in. That is incredible. CNN was talking about it. Trump is going to put out a call to arms from the Proud Boys. Imagine if Donald Trump actually does do something like that. That would really be crazy. That would be insane. Okay, Trump going to speak at 6:30. A lot of super chats telling me Trump is going to speak at 6:30. Okay, in that case, this is what we're going to do. I want to do a. Let me think about the right way to do this. Should I be doing a new stream for Trump, or should we just keep this one going? Not actually sure. Let's look at the latest numbers. Nothing new in Nevada. Pennsylvania. Wow. Pennsylvania now down to a 1.2 margin. Only 79,000 votes now separating the two candidates. North Carolina still at 1.4. And then Georgia still at 9,500 votes separating the two. Incredible. Okay, yeah, we'll keep this stream going. Yeah, that's fine. Let's see. Yeah, I may do a break at like 6:15 or something in anticipation of Trump. Wow, I can't even imagine what kind of an idea. Hold on, I'm gonna have to refresh the Twitch numbers. If I were Trump's advisors, I would also be telling him, hey, maybe you don't want to show up and speak, because what could he possibly do to help himself? Oh, our subscriber numbers just got messed up. Let me fix that. There we go. I just don't understand what he could possibly do that helps his case, unless he's looking to instigate. In which case that could be a very, very different situation. Okay. Some questions coming in via Super Chat. If we can get a majority in the Senate and the White House, do you think we should expand the Supreme Court to 13 or 15 seats? I'm not sure. I've talked about expanding. I don't know about 13 versus 15. Not sure about that. I'm being asked to look at the Arizona numbers more closely. Arizona has the lead. Am I correct that the lead has grown in Arizona? Now it's 2.3, where it was a little bit smaller. Can somebody correct me? Arizona lead seems to have expanded. Narrowing. Oh, dear. Okay. And folks saying that I should pick up the CNN feed. Let me see that. CNN live stream. Let me just find that for you guys. Because if things are happening on CNN, then certainly that's something we want to see. Where are we on CNN's content? Here we go. CNN. Commercial break in progress. Okay, good. So we've got the CNN feed in case that's where it happens. So if you're just joining us, it has been announced that Donald Trump will be speaking at the, what's going on here?
That are, we are seeing a blue shift in trending towards Joe Biden. That this is.
Oh, someone's video froze. We are expecting to hear from Donald Trump at the bottom of the hour. What he is going to say, I have absolutely no idea. But I hope you'll stay with us for that, because I assume it will be completely and utterly unhinged. Let's do this. I'm going to briefly pause and get reset. So we'll pick up this coverage. When I come back, I'm going to hear from a few people on Discord. Okay. davidpakman.com/Discord. And that'll get us to the Trump press briefing at the bottom of the hour. So let's do that. I'll be back in 5.
They're furious with Fox News, but I think we need to have a reality check here about what the president actually has access to in terms of a legal recourse.
Elena, we're not only watching the tight presidential race over in Georgia, another state that we want to talk about, but we're also watching the Senate races there. Looks like Georgia's going to have 2 Senate runoffs in January. I mean, this state has really become a key player in this election.
It has, and it's remarkable. I know that a lot of people, especially those in the Trump campaign, were not expecting it to be nearly this close, and have definitely been fretting about it internally. But I will say it's remarkable to look at the 2 Senate races that are likely heading for a runoff. I mean, they will potentially decide which party controls a majority in the Senate, which is a huge deal. We might not know until January, and that means that really we're going to start to see a campaign 2.0 in these next few months, vying for those seats. So a big deal there, and definitely raising a lot of concerns within Trump world and Republicans that it is so close, both on the presidential level, but then also on the Senate level in the special election.
All right, Elena, Jackie, thank you both so much for being with us. Stick around. We're going to catch up with you on some other states in play here a little bit later in the show. Appreciate it.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. We're glad to have you with us.
This fall, we're right there with you. Whether you're back to school.
What do you guys think? We're excited?
Or back to work. We're keeping you safe.
I love being back.
Every morning on Today.
Washington feels more chaotic than ever. It's my job to ask the tough questions, left and right, and help you make sense of it all.
ready to go to work.
As election night in America continues, races in two presidential
She's Joe Biden's choice to be next in line. But who is Kamala Harris? Join me, Joy Reid, as I explore her life's journey from Oakland to Washington on my 6-part podcast, Kamala, Next in Line. New episodes every Monday. Subscribe for free wherever you get your podcasts.
For
breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Later this hour,
President Trump and Joe Biden hit the center of his campaign, coronavirus.
The story.
The battleground blitz as we enter the final stretch of the 2020 race.
From every angle.
If you were sitting here talking to Joe Biden and President Trump, what would you want to tell him right now?
On the ground.
The wind standing these flames are expected to last another 24 hours.
In these key races.
We now have 2 vaccine trials on hold. Should people be concerned?
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. We're glad to have you with us.
This fall, we're right there with you, whether you're back to school or back to work. We're keeping you safe.
I love being
back. Every morning on Today.
The president's lead is shrinking and shrinking.
Police murder of unarmed black men has been an American way of death across centuries. After seeing the most comprehensive police reform bill ever introduced in Congress, I've begun to wonder if now is the time. If now is the time the protesters finally win.
The Last Word with Lawrence O'Donnell. Weeknights at 10 on MSNBC.
Oh, that's right, Wolf. And as you know, what's been on the president
in Pennsylvania, election officials racing to finish counting the state's outstanding ballots. With 93% of the vote in, the race there still too close to call. But President Trump's lead over Joe Biden is shrinking. Take a look at it there, 50% to 48.8. NBC News correspondent Rahema Ellis is in Philadelphia tonight. NBC News reporter Maura Barrett is in Pittsburgh. Rahema, first to you. Earlier today, Trump campaign advisor Corey Lewandowski and former special advisor to the president Pam Bondi tried to have a news conference. They were practically drowned out by counter-protesters. What is the latest on the battle over ballot counting there in Philly?
Over Joe Biden right now in both Pennsylvania and Georgia. And I talked to an advisor just a short time ago, and the picture is bleak. The picture that's being painted is bleak. According to an advisor I spoke with earlier this evening, quote, math is not on our side. We need an act of God to alter the course. This advisor said we need an act of God to alter the course. That is the concern right now because they're watching this lead shrink in Pennsylvania, and if Joe Biden overtakes Donald Trump in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, it is the belief inside the Trump campaign. They won't say it outwardly, but they will say it privately, that Joe Biden will become the next president of the United States. Now, obviously, we're going to hear a different message from the president. When the president comes out, he's going to call into question what's going on in Pennsylvania and what's happening in these other remaining states. He is also, Wolf, we should point out, and so are some of his family members, quite hot about what they see as a sort of lack of praise coming from other Republican leaders and lawmakers. The president's family has been complaining about this on social media all afternoon, wondering where are some of the 2024 so-called candidates and why aren't they praising the president for what he did in this 2020 campaign. Some of those
Maura, let me head over to you. What are election officials there in Pittsburgh telling you about the results timeline?
Praising the president. I suspect some of that is on his mind. And keep in mind,
we're in a pretty good spot here in Allegheny County overnight.
Again. They are apoplectic about what has occurred over at Fox in terms of some of the calls that they've made. The president has been nursing that grudge privately behind the scenes, telling aides and allies that he is very upset with what has been a friendly network to the president. And I suspect you may hear some of that as well. We'll see if the president takes questions, but he obviously has a lot on his mind. He's been watching Joe Biden make these statements over the last couple of days, calling for patience, calling for calm. This is a president who is doing the exact opposite. He wants to slam the brakes on what's taking place right now to save his presidency, because right now it is the incredible shrinking presidency of Donald Trump that we're watching, we're witnessing in real time right now.
Those tweets that the president has leveled over the past couple of days, totally inappropriate. Let's talk a little bit about Pennsylvania right now. It's the lead that Trump has over Biden is shrinking 78,000 right now, but it's clearly doable
earlier today was talking about how she thought maybe we'd see some results here in Pennsylvania today, but actually she just wrapped up a press conference with an update, kind of walking that back. It seems like results in Philadelphia where Hema is they're coming in a little bit slower, and so they're going to continue counting through the night, and so we might see even.
All right, guys, I'm back, and it seems like there's actually 2 audio streams playing right now. I apologize for that. Oh, my God. Okay, let's mute this. We are standing by for Donald Trump at the bottom of the hour. It's absolutely crazy that Donald Trump is going to speak. I can only imagine that Donald Trump is going to make all sorts of additional unfounded fraud allegations. This seems like a really bad idea, but he's going to do it. So we are starting to see the events pop up. I'm going to start getting some of them ready for you guys because this is going to be wacky. This is going to be completely wacky. Let's see. Donald Trump Jr. and Georgia Republicans, I guess, are also going to be speaking, and they're already supposed to be speaking. Let's pull up that thing. A lot of things are happening, so I'm glad that we're going to have the opportunity to see all of them. Donald Trump Jr. and Georgia Republicans make a statement in Atlanta. Oh, my God. Which will be more unhinged? I don't even know. And then where else? Let's see if I can get an additional Trump press briefing. Trump holds a press briefing. All right, this is probably good. We probably have all of the right things going on at this point in time. This is going to be nuts. I have no idea what to expect. Okay, I want to hear from a few of you guys. Okay, so if you want to get in touch, get into our Discord at davidpakman.com/Discord. And I want to hear from a few of you guys. Let me get an update on our member numbers and see where we are. We are at 72 on the website, which puts us at +12, which is 153. And we're at 2067 on Twitch, which is another 24, which puts us at 177. Beautiful. Beautiful number. And thanks to ODWD Inc. for gifting 20 subs. Very much appreciate that. Here's the process for talking to me. You go to davidpakman.com/Discord. You get into the waiting lobby. You make sure that you are on Do Not Disturb, and you change your nickname to location:name. All right, location:name. Let me get myself logged in here. And then we have really strong 3-factor authentication going on here. Let's see here. We've got that. davidpakman.com/Discord is the Discord server for people who are asking. Appreciate the super chats coming in as well. Let's take a look here and see who wants to chat. We have, oh, wow, there's like 200 people waiting, which is nuts. Let's talk to, wow, these are scroll. I'm going to have to wait for it to like settle down a little bit. How about, let's go to, I can't even click one because other ones scroll past. This is insane. We might have to set a limit. Maybe our mods could do that, where you set some kind of a limit on the number of people that can even be holding. Let's go to our caller from Paris. I can't see your name. Who is this caller from Paris? Hello, Paris. You're on the air. Caller from Paris, please unmute. You are on the air. All right. No such luck there. Let's go next to, let's go to Alden from Columbus, Georgia. Alden from Columbus, Georgia, you're on the air. Alden from Columbus, Georgia, you're on the air.
Hey, I just had a quick question for you. How exactly, so with it being this close of a race, do you still see
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Do you still see Trump's kids running in 2020 or 2024, or is that kind of a
no, I thought that was a real risk if Trump gets reelected. I think the odds of a Trump kid running go down dramatically if Trump loses.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you see Trump going for re-election again
in 2024? Yeah, you're going completely robot voice. I know Trump is talking about running in 2024 if he loses, but I don't think he'll do it. He'll be like 80 years old. I don't think he'll do it.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, thank you. I'm going to let you go because it's just a little bit crazy. Let me see if I can get back to our Paris caller. The problem may have been on my end there. Oh no, Paris caller is gone. I apologize. That's not good. Let's go to Rose from Massac. I can't see what it is. It's like MASAQ. I don't know what that is. Rose, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, so thanks for calling on me. Massac is actually an orbital from Ian Banks's Culture series.
Ah, okay.
I'm a total nerd. So this is more of a question, but we've passed a really grim milestone in terms of climate.
Yes.
And we've passed a very important trigger point. I'm not sure if you know about this, but the Blue Ocean event that a lot of scientists have warned about just happened.
I'm not familiar with that.
So the Blue Ocean event is this point in time when the Arctic Ocean doesn't freeze over. So because you have low reflectivity as well as higher absorption in the water, you get a warmer Arctic. And because as the Arctic gets warmer, it starts releasing methane from the permafrost more.
Got it.
This creates a cycle. So for the first time in recorded human history, the lactive sea in the Arctic Ocean, which is where most of the ice gets produced, hasn't frozen over yet. This is unprecedented. Everyone, like all of the indices, like the ICCC and so on, thought that this would happen in 2040 or 2050. Like, the models were wrong in the sense that they weren't aggressive enough.
Got it. And I hate to interrupt. That's disturbing. Did you have a question for me today?
Yeah. Why? Like, so this is the most important thing. Like, we could possibly be talking about, and no one knows about it. You know?
Well, now I do. I appreciate you bringing it to my attention. So now I will look into it, and very, very much appreciate you letting me know about that. Updates on the numbers. We do have a tightening again in Pennsylvania. Maybe. No, we don't. It's still 1.2. That hasn't changed. Nevada hasn't changed. Arizona 2.2 is a tightening. We have a tightening in Arizona. Oh my God, that is not looking good. So we're going to have to keep waiting on that. Let's go to, where are we going to go next? Let's go to, okay. Our Paris caller is back. I apologize. It was my fault at the beginning, Paris caller, but I can't see your name.
Hi, is it me?
Yes, it is.
Oh, hi. Thanks for taking. I wanted to ask, do you think if Biden gets elected, do you think there will be some kind of full review of what the Trump administration could have done that isn't known, something like that? And what would happen if we discover that they have done some wrong thing?
Are you saying, will there be investigations of what happened during the Trump administration?
Yeah, for example.
I certainly hope so. Yeah, I don't know that there will. But I mean, there should be. I think we don't know the half of it, to be perfectly frank.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I wanted to ask.
Thank you very much. Are you in Paris? You live in Paris?
Like near Paris, in the suburbs.
Oh, okay. I have cousins in the suburbs.
Oh, where?
I don't remember, but I probably shouldn't say anyway because they're it's a pretty small suburb. I don't want them getting harassed, you know?
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to come back again, you're...
Oh, believe me, after the pandemic, Paris is one of the first places I am going to go.
It's a nice city.
Yeah, beautiful city. Okay, thank you very much. Love to hear from our friends in Paris. Let me go next to Shannon. And I don't know if this is someone calling from Shannon who hasn't told me their name or someone named Shannon who hasn't told me where they're calling from. But Shannon, you are on. Shannon, good evening. You are on. And last chance for Shannon. Oh, Shannon bailed. Okay. All right. Let's go to Zach from Salt Lake City, Utah. I was looking at the Utah counties today. Zach, Salt Lake City, powerfully blue in a very red state.
Hey, David, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, I am. I can hear you.
Hey, I just wanted to thank you for your coverage on the election. I really appreciate it. I've been looking forward to your live streams every day.
Oh, thank you.
No question. Just wanted to express my gratitude.
Anything crazy you want to tell me about that's going on in Salt Lake City?
No, it's just me and a couple of family members that are surrounded by lots of Republicans all the time. So it's a very interesting environment to be around.
Now, I've heard that being in Salt Lake City, if you're liberal and not Mormon, actually really isn't bad.
Oh, it's not. I grew up Mormon, but I'm no longer anymore. But
oh, really?
Yeah.
And is your family still Mormon?
Yep.
Wow. And you guys get along fine?
Oh yeah, perfectly fine.
That's interesting.
Very understanding. Yeah.
What's the are they liberal Mormons?
It's a weird dichotomy in my family. So my mom has always been a really devout Republican.
Okay.
And I think my dad is kind of on the same spectrum as I am.
Mm.
So it's kind of an interesting dynamic.
I recently read a very interesting book by John Krakauer, the great John Krakauer of Into the Air, Into Thin Air, Into the Wild, etc., called Under the Banner of Heaven, about some Mormon murders. And it has a lot of different insight into the mission. And I'm sorry, is there a particular name for the 2-year period before college? Is it called a mission?
Yeah, LDS mission. It's not necessarily before college, just kind of whenever one wants to go and do it. I have a twin brother that actually went on a mission.
Really? Identical or fraternal?
Identical, yeah. He served in Atlanta, Georgia.
Wow. And have you ever been mistaken for the missionary guy?
Have not, no.
It hasn't happened. Okay, good. Interesting stuff. Well, yeah, anyway, I recommend the book Under the Banner of Heaven. Very interesting about, gives you a lot of history of Mormonism as well as, the story of these murders.
Yeah, interesting. I'll have to check it out. Thanks, man.
All right, very good. Okay, great to hear from you. Let's see here. Let's go to Pablo from Santiago. Now, that could be Chile. That could be Santiago de Compostela in Spain.
Very good. Okay, great.
Hello?
Let's go to Pablo.
Oh, boy. You got to listen in Discord rather than in the stream, Pablo.
In Spain.
Hey, David.
Hello.
Hey, am I live? Can you hear me?
You are live, en vivo y en directo.
Well, amazing. I'm from Chile. Can we speak just a tiny bit in Spanish, please?
Okay, so we can speak Spanish. I'll translate. Decime.
Okay, thanks. Gracias. Quería decirte que estoy muy agradecido por todas las noticias que nos has dado acá que sepas que en Chile tienes muchos seguidores, que eres un hermano argentino y que te queremos mucho.
Muchísimas gracias. Muchísimas gracias.
Yeah. I'm actually nervous. I didn't think I could have had the chance to talk to you.
Oh, you're doing great. So what he said was that he's very, and it sounds like you have a phone going off, that he's a fan from Chile and that we have many fans in Chile and that everything is good and that I'm an Argentinian brother. Todo cierto.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
All right. Wow. What an international show we have going today. Let's go to Ian from New York next. Ian from New York, you are on as we are. If you're just joining us, don't even think about going anywhere else because Donald Trump is about to deliver completely unhinged rantings. That's my characterization. Okay, sorry. Back to the New York call. Ian from New York.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
You can hear me, right?
I can hear you.
Wow, this is wild. Hi. I was just curious on your thoughts about possible reprisals from the Trump administration or his I know he's gathering a lot of militias. So if Biden were to win, what are your thoughts on possible violence that could come?
Well, hold on. You're saying Trump himself is gathering militias, or there are militias
the militias that support Trump?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm worried about it. I mean, listen, you've already started to see it rear its sort of ugly head. You've got people showing up in Michigan demanding stop counting. You have people showing up in Arizona with guns demanding start counting. There's a lot that is going on. So I think it could boil. Trump has the worst scenario for violence I predicted would be a very narrow win for Biden with Trump claiming it was rigged. That's the way it's pointed right now. So that's scary. Hello? Okay, Ian's gone. Very good. It was a good question. Let's go to Sasha from New Jersey. Sasha from New Jersey, you are on as we stand by for Donald Trump.
Hey, David. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
So first off, big fan of your show.
Thank you.
Also, I had a question. What do you think about faithless electors potentially stealing this election because of how close it could be?
I'm getting more and more emails about this. So let me explain to the audience. When a state has an election, like, for example, Nevada, and they have 6 electoral votes, after the election is certified, there are actually 6 electors who say, we go for Trump. Those electors, in theory, because it is a mechanism meant to protect from certain bad situations, they could say, one of those electors could say, oh, I'm voting for Trump even though Nevada went for Biden, if it goes for Biden. If it's 270 to 268, as it could be, we don't yet know, one elector going the other way is a very real problem. I am not really taking a position on it right now. I think I can't even think about that right now, to be perfectly frank. And so I'm just waiting to see. First, let's see who wins, and then we'll talk about faithless electors.
Sounds good. Good. Thank you.
All right, my pleasure. It's an important question and one that I understand why it is being asked. Updates in Nevada, nothing. In Arizona, 2.2. In Pennsylvania, 1.2 for Trump. In North Carolina, still 1.4 for Trump. No update there in about 36 hours. And in Georgia, still 0.2, a 9,500 vote lead for Donald Trump. And we are standing by for Prump. He has, I guess, convinced his advisors to let him speak. I'm expecting it to be absolutely insane. I'm expecting it to be bonkers. Let's go next to, let's go to a call from Argentina. Guido from Argentina. Hello. Argentina, you are on. Argentina, you are on. Guido? That's too bad. Was really looking forward to speaking to someone from Argentina. That's sad. Let's go to Bethany from Oklahoma. Bethany from Oklahoma, you're on the air.
Hi, can you hear me?
Loud and clear, Bethany.
Awesome. I guess my question is, I've been seeing some of my liberal friends here in Oklahoma, which there aren't a lot.
Okay.
There is not a single blue county here, but I've been seeing people talk about why Biden is not getting the Hispanic vote in Texas like Beto was in Texas. And so I kind of wanted your opinion on that, I guess. There was a county that Beto won by like 26 points that Trump got 56% of the vote in.
So two
anyway,
thoughts.
I wanted to see your opinion.
Oh, is your dog here too?
Oh, I'm in the backyard with my dog.
Oh, what kind of a dog is it?
Well, that's actually the loud neighbor dog because I have a husky who is in heat, and so the neighbor dog is kind of freaking out.
Oh my God! It sounds like things are crazy there. The dog is in heat right now.
She's ending her cycle right now.
Okay. Oh my God.
The neighbor's a big fan. Yeah.
And you haven't. You've decided not to spay.
Well, I years ago thought I wanted maybe to keep one of her puppies, but I've kind of changed my mind because I don't know. I don't really want to breed her anymore, but I just haven't gotten around to fixing her because she's kind of old now. So
have you thought about convalescent plasma for her?
No, what is that?
I don't know if you're kidding right now, but your reaction was perfect. But no, let's move on. So here's the thing. I don't know that it's that relevant to compare the Biden numbers to the Beto numbers. I would be comparing the Biden numbers to the Hillary numbers. And in some places it doesn't look so good. In some cases it's okay. I'm actually planning for my Spanish language show, I'm going to be doing an interview about exactly that issue. And maybe we'll do it in English subtitles on it. But I'm still looking into the reasons why.
I know you've kind of talked about it. Is there a good place to go to watch those Spanish episodes? That's really neat that you do that.
Really right now, it's not even online. You have to have a cable channel called Estrella or Estrella, as we would say in Argentina. And you have to check your local listings. I can't believe I'm saying that, but you do have to do it.
Gotcha. Yeah, we just really use our Apple TV. We don't even have local channels or anything. So.
It's actually, you can get it on some, there's some website called, I think it's Fubo, Fubo, that has the show. It's a weird thing. If it becomes a regular thing, I hope to kind of make it more clear how to get the show online.
Cool. Yeah, that sounds neat. I have some, Hispanic friends that would be pretty interested in that, I think. So.
Right. Excellent. All right, very good. And listen, can you get a good bagel in Oklahoma?
A good bagel? I mean, I think so. Of course, I'm not very cultured in bagels or anything.
Okay.
But we have a restaurant that's called Old School Bagel Cafe. Kind of, I think, supposed to be framed after. It's it's even called New York Old School Bagel Cafe, and it's one of the most popular lunch spots in town. So I live in a college town in Stillwater, Oklahoma, actually. So kind of more of a progressive spot, at least. But
okay, so it seems like if there's a place where you could get a good bagel and maybe a reasonable cappuccino that you don't have to throw back at the barista, it seems that would be the place.
Yes, we have a local coffee place that beats Starbucks for sure. It's they roast their own coffee beans and everything here.
Perfect.
Locally. It's called Aspen Coffee, and it's great. So.
Wow, people actually mentioning it in the chat. It looked like it was before you said it anyway. A bunch of people in the chat mentioning it.
Really?
Yeah. It's fascinating.
Awesome. Well, thanks for taking my call.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, now it sounds like a cat is going crazy, so I'm going to let you go.
It's my daughter. She is.
Oh, it's your daughter. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Okay. All right. Very good. Thank you. Appreciate it. We are hearing from Donald Trump very, very soon, it looks like. So we are going to, I'm going to disconnect for the time being from Discord because we're expecting Donald Trump absolutely any moment. Some people are saying Trump is already live, but I am not seeing that on the Fox News feed or on this. I'm not seeing it on any feed whatsoever, but, it should be starting soon. So we're keeping an eye on it. This is not live Biden, by the way. You're not missing anything. We've already reviewed that. Okay, let me get a final member count because I don't want to, before this starts, we're at 81 on the website. That's +8 on the website, putting us at 185. From the perspective of Twitch, we're at 2069, which is +2, putting us at 187. Beautiful. If you're just joining us, we are about to hear from Donald Trump against the best advice of his advisors. Donald Trump will be speaking tonight. Okay. I would love it if you stayed around for this. I don't know what to expect. It's going to be a mess. I can only imagine. Tyler says, I was one of the owners of the Old School Bagel in Stillwater. Now I own a spot. Wait a second. Is Tyler Ford saying that he was an owner of the bagel place that the caller just mentioned? Is that what's going on? What on earth are the odds of that? That can't be, right? So a caller mentions the one bagel cafe, and then Tyler says, I used to own the bagel cafe? That's crazy. And he paid $5 to let us know. It must be true. Well, I don't know. Okay. I don't really know what's going on. Okay. People are telling me that there is stuff happening in the press briefing room. Let me see if I can find a better feed. Trump press briefing. And let's see if any of these are live. Live U.S. Trump floods. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not finding a live feed. Oh, wait. Right Side Broadcasting is live in the room. Okay, I guess I can turn it on just for a few minutes. I tend not to want to do that just because it's just so toxic. But there is that. Maybe Fox News will be live soon. And what else do we have here? Other live feeds. I think we'll get it. I think with what we have going on right now, we will certainly know. Let's take a look. Fox not yet live. This is from the other day. Okay, let's keep it here for now. This seems to be the best spot to keep it going for the time being. Okay, good. Paula White says good luck from Canada. Go America, go blue. Yeah, it's Let's see how it goes. Durges says Nevada only updates voting numbers once a day around 9 a.m. Pacific. Yeah, it's very slow. Let's take one more look before we hear from Trump. Arizona, it's still 2.2. Georgia, 0.2. North Carolina, 1.4. And Pennsylvania, 1.2. No updates. I don't anticipate we're going to hear very much more from any of these today. I don't know. I could be wrong about that. But I don't think we're going to hear much more. Okay, people asking what happened to 2020 now. That's funny. Okay, so yeah, people noticing we had this great coupon code, 2020 now, 66% off. It was crazy, crazy, crazy. People were getting arrested because the discount was so big, and then it was gone. We have replaced it with something new. The election is over. So our new coupon code is Fresh Start. We've upped the discount from 66% to 70. And I invite you, yes, you, to go to joinpacman.com and to grab one of those memberships. We have now, let me see who else did that. 83. Okay, so that's another 2 people, which puts us at 189. And then on Twitch, we're at 2070, which is also +1, puts us at 190. We're trying to get to 304 members and Twitch subs because that's one for every electoral vote that Donald Trump had in 2016. That's where the number comes from. I don't know what else to tell you. Wow, and we may get there because there's all of a sudden 128 people on the membership page on my website. That's bonkers. I don't even know that that's legal, to be perfectly frank. That may not even be allowed. Yeah, I'm going to look into that. I am told there is a small update on the New York Times site for Pennsylvania. Let's look at that. Yeah, I can't imagine what Donald Trump is going to say. It's going to be that's Senate. Hold on, let me go to President. And Pennsylvania. 1.1. Wow. Yeah, this is now down to 74,700, 74,700, something like that. Pennsylvania getting extraordinarily close, but they are starting to run out of vote, right? I mean, we're at 93% reported based on an estimate, Let's see if anybody else is carrying Trump yet. Nope, just waiting on Trump. Let's see what CNN's doing. President Trump to make remarks soon. Fox News awaiting. Okay, so I think I'm feeling solid, guys, that we're not going to miss the Trump briefing. I do think that we're going to get it. Super chats. two Kyles weighing in. Kyle Craven says in her book, Mary Trump outlines how he's not mentally able to process defeat. I fear this snowballs, and we actually see the 25th Amendment from a cabinet who wants to have political careers post-Trump. You don't need to do 25th Amendment, because if Trump loses on January 20th, he's no longer the president. That's it. So I don't think you're going to need that. Kyle says, regardless of who wins, I would be lying to say that I am not ashamed of what's going on in our country, not the election counting process, but the president and his supporters. Who would respect us? Yeah, I didn't anticipate that this topic would actually be that interesting, but I found it interesting. So yesterday on the show, I did a story called The Country is Screwed Whether Trump Wins or Loses. And it was really discussing the fact that there's going to be 70 million Trumpists in the country, whether Trump wins or loses. And shockingly, the clip has 400,000 views, and I've gotten more emails about that clip than anything we've done recently. And I think that's, I mean, clearly it's resonating at least with an important part of our audience as far as that goes. So, yeah, I completely agree with you. The shame is not, I mean, the votes are being counted. There's not fraud the way Don Jr. and all these people are suggesting. The embarrassment is that there's 70 million Trumpists in the United States. Thomas says, David, caller from, oh, I missed it. Thomas, caller from Paris here. Sorry for my bad English. No, you were perfect. I also wanted to ask, do you think Biden can or will try and reform the Electoral College? I don't think he will try, and I don't think he would be able to. I believe the way to reform the Electoral College most directly is the National Popular Interstate, NPVIC, National Popular Vote Interstate Compact. And I've talked about that before, and I encourage you to Google it and learn a little bit about it. Jan Schutz says, get ready for epic baby rage from our leader. Yeah, I mean, so let me know in the chat, is Trump going to do anything other than just allege fraud? I can't think of anything else Trump is going to do. I can't imagine, I would be shocked if Trump showed up and said, I want to let everybody know we must remain calm and let democracy run its course. We will ultimately know the winner. Votes are being counted. In the meantime, my focus is coronavirus, which I am committed to. Blah, 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 blah. I mean, I would be shocked if he did that. And by the way, I would love it if someone raised their hand and said, Mr. Trump, sir, you promised 100 million vaccine doses before the election. You promised a new health care plan signed into law in August. You promised to build a wall across the entire U.S.-Mexico border. You said second coronavirus stimulus. I would love it if somebody did the sir routine with him. I don't know if he's going to take questions. I really don't know. But let's get the latest coronavirus numbers today. Yeah, 108,000 cases. Again, we had 108,352 yesterday and 108,660 today. They may not even be done counting for the day, to be totally honest with you. We may even get more, which is really crazy. Okay, Joe Rader says that Falcon 9 just landed. That's interesting. Tony says, can we please raid the Right Side news stream? No, we're not going to do that. I should look at raiding someone, though, on Twitch, just because it's the polite thing to do after I'm done streaming. I don't know exactly who it would be. Let's see who's streaming that I follow right now. Stephen Kenneth Destiny Banal is streaming. Grandmaster Hikaru Nakamura is streaming. Botez Live is streaming. Who else is streaming that I follow? A bunch of different people. Yeah, no, there's definitely some stuff ripe for streaming. But first, we have to get through this press briefing, and I can't even imagine what we are going to see. Yeah, if you're just joining us, we've been live for a couple of hours, but now is when it's really going to get hot. It's the new hot thing, the way that the way Trump likes to say. We're expecting to hear from Donald Trump any moment. Do I think Georgia is holding the report of 0.2% or more that gives Biden the edge in a worry of triggering the possible aftermath? I have no reason to think that, but at the same time, I wouldn't put anything past anybody at this point. because the situation has become completely wacky. Okay, now that Fox is live, we can bail on the right side broadcasting feed. And we'll be hearing from Donald Trump, I think, very soon. Cameras are trained. Let's get our feed in HD. I just have no idea what to expect here. It's going to be nuts. Jen says she's worried Trump is going to use this time to instigate fighting between protesting groups. That's my biggest concern. I wasn't going to mention it, but because you brought it up, let's discuss it. Remember stand back and stand by? I hope this is not a message to those standing by to stand in. And I think that that's all that needs to be said at this point. But I am worried that is potentially what we could see here. Samuel says, can I get one of those super alpha two-handed water sips? Yeah, the new way I drink water is like this. Trump taught that to me, and I like it. I don't know about you guys, but I think it's pretty good. Underscore Door says the Democratic flex. Blue states in the West have an arm flexing, and East has the army bodybuilder dab-like pose. Oh my God, I don't know what you're talking about. Somebody's suggesting I check the Iowa COVID numbers. Let's look at that. Where is Iowa? Is it ugly? Let's take a look. Yeah, that's not a good curve. That's not what you want. Oh my. Yeah, that's a pretty serious spike. Not good in Iowa, but, a lot of places are spiking right now. Many, many places are spiking. Update on memberships. Let's see. We're at 125 on the website from 81. That's 44, which puts us at 234. And then Twitch is 2083, which is an additional 40, which puts us at 274. Nice. We've never had a month this solid on Twitch, to be perfectly frank. I love I think Twitch is just a fantastic platform. It's been, we started there last year. It's just been such a great platform. Totally different audience. There's a little overlap with YouTube, but a totally different audience. It's been interesting to be on there, for sure. Trump Jr. just tweeted saying daddy should go for total war. This is going to get violent. Let me see if I can find the Don Jr. Twitter very quickly. Don Jr. Twitter. Let's see what he tweeted. Has it been removed? Let's see. Total war. I'm not seeing anything about total war. Best thing? Oh, here it is. Okay. The best thing for America's future is for Trump to go to total war. Oh, my God. If you're a lunatic Proud Boy and you're standing by and Don Jr. says it's time for total war, that might activate you. That might actually, I'm trying to think of how they would look at that. That could be an incitement to violence. Is that stochastic terrorism? I don't know, but it's monstrous. It's absolutely monstrous for the child of a sitting president to claim it's time to go to total war. Unbelievable. Yeah, I think Twitter needs to delete that. I mean, it really is an incitement to violence. I would like to see Twitter just delete it, not even flag it. Steve Bannon's video got taken down. That's interesting. All available ballots are counted in North Carolina. The outstanding absentee provisional will be reviewed on November 12th when county committees meet. That is state law. Okay, so it sounds like we for that reason, we are getting nothing else from North Carolina for a week until next Thursday. Meanwhile, the vote count continues in Pennsylvania. New York Times has it as a 1.1 vote margin. AP has it as 1.2. Georgia, we are still waiting on. Nevada, updating once a day, so we will get an update on that count tomorrow. And we are standing by for Donald Trump. I want to make a note. I'm going to send a note to myself here. Don Jr. Total War tweet. I'm just thinking about what I want to cover tomorrow, and I don't want to forget that because that is insane. Don Jr. talking about it's time for total war. I mean, it's crazy. How are we even living through this? Let's hope we do live through it. Maybe that's where we should stop. Yeah, you should really report it. That is a good idea. My 15-year-old asked me if we could move to Europe if Trump takes the election. Told her yes, if anyone is taking Americans in 2023. Well said. Will says, Bill Maher always said this. Trump is not going to leave office, even if he loses, or he is going to make it difficult. What are your thoughts? Yeah, I mean, I predicted on Monday Trump would claim victory in the aftermath of the election. He did. I predicted Trump would allege fraud, and he did. I predicted Trump would start lawsuits, and he has. It's all happening exactly as predicted. It's all happening exactly as predicted. It looks like they've maybe gotten the 2-minute warning, which is why we have a slow zoom happening and people taking pictures of the backdrop. I think we should be hearing from Donald Trump any second. Yeah, and it seems everybody is standing by for Donald Trump at this point in time. So we'll have it very soon. And it is going to be wild. Absolutely wild, I predict. Okay, and are we keeping up with banning people appropriately? I'm seeing some potentially concerning things, but we've actually had a lot of ban hammers dropped in the last 48 hours. It makes me sad, really. Makes me sad more than anything else. Okay, I'm being told that there was a delay, but the delay was the delay to now? Yes, it is. All right, here we go. Stand back and stand by.
Thank you very much.
MAGA nanny.
Good evening. I'd like to provide the American people with an update on our efforts to protect the integrity of our very important 2020 election. If you count the legal votes, I easily win. If you count the illegal votes, they can try to steal.
Commit this man now.
From us.
72-hour psych hold.
We're looking at them very strongly, but a lot of votes
very strong.
Late. I've already decisively won many critical states, including massive victories in Florida, Iowa, Indiana, Ohio. To name just a few, we won these and many other victories despite historic election interference from big media, big money, and big tech. As everybody saw, we won by historic numbers.
Historic.
And the pollsters got it knowingly wrong.
The pollsters.
Wrong. We had polls that were so ridiculous, and everybody knew it at the time. There was no blue wave that they predicted. They thought there was going to be a big blue wave. That was.
Remember, Trump's been predicting a red wave up until 72 hours ago.
But instead, there was a big red wave.
That's not true.
Properly acknowledged, actually, by the media. They were, I think, very impressed. But that was after the fact. That doesn't do us any good. We kept the Senate despite having twice as many seats to defend as Democrats, and in a really much more competitive states, we did a fantastic job with the Senate. I think we're very proud of what's happened there. We had many more seats to defend. They spent almost $200 million on Senate races in South Carolina and Kentucky alone, 2 races, and hundreds of millions of dollars overall against us. At the national level, our opponents' major donors were Wall Street bankers and special interests. Our major donors were police officers, farmers, everyday citizens. Yet for the first time ever, we lost 0 races in the House. I was talking to Kevin McCarthy today. He said he couldn't.
Many haven't been counted
0
yet.
Races, very unusual thing, 0. And actually won many new seats with, I think, many more on the way. This was also the year of the Republican woman. More Republican women were elected to Congress than ever before. That's a great achievement. I won the largest share of non-white voters of any Republican in 60 years, including historic numbers of
This is
Latino,
weird. It's like, did you win, dude?
American, Asian American, and Native American voters, the largest ever in our history. We grew our party by 4 million voters, the greatest turnout in
Sorry, guys, I have to interrupt. Very powerful raid from Grandmaster Hikaru Nakamura. Very much appreciate that. Welcome, everybody. Very, very strong. Strongest ever, I think.
Seems, and Republicans have become the party of the American worker, and that's what's happened. And we're also, I believe, the party of inclusion. As everyone now recognizes, media polling was election interference in the truest sense of
polling voters is interference.
By powerful special interests.
Counting votes is interference.
These really phony polls, I have to call them phony polls, fake polls, were designed to keep our voters at home, create the illusion of momentum for Mr. Biden and diminish Republicans' ability to
Notice no
raise
more
funds.
Sleepy Joe.
They were what's called suppression polls.
Has he ever used the word Mr. Biden before?
It's never been used to the extent that it's been used on this last election. To highlight just a few examples, the day before election, Quinnipiac, which was wrong
Quinnipiac.
on
Love that.
every occasion that I know of, had Joe Biden up by 5 points in Florida, and they were off by 8.4 points, and I won Florida easily. So they had me losing Florida by a lot, and I ended up winning Florida by a lot. Other than that, they were very accurate. They had him up 4 points in Ohio, and they were up by 12.2 points. And I also won Ohio, great state of Ohio, very easily.
Beautiful state.
The Washington Post said Biden up 17 points in Wisconsin, and it was basically even. They were off by about 17 points. And they knew that. They're not stupid people.
Trump lost the state.
Suppression.
What is he talking about?
There are now only a few states yet to be decided in the presidential race. The voting apparatus of those states are run in all cases by Democrats. We were winning in all the key locations by a lot, actually. And then our numbers started miraculously getting whittled away in secret. And they wouldn't allow legally permissible observers. We went to court in a couple of instances, and we were able to get the observers put in. And when the observers got there, they wanted them 60, 70 feet away, 80 feet, 100 feet away, or outside the building to observe people inside the building. And we won a case, a big case, and we have others happening. There are lots of litigation, even
multiple
beyond our
cases thrown out. Also,
tremendous amount of litigation generally because of how unfair this process was. And I predicted that. I've been talking about mail-in voting for a long time. It's really destroyed our system. It's a corrupt system, and it makes people corrupt even if they aren't by nature. But they become corrupt. It's too easy. They want to find out how many votes they need, and then they seem to be able to find them. They wait, and then they find them. And you see that on election night. We were ahead in vote in North Carolina by a lot, tremendous number of votes.
He doesn't seem to understand anything.
We're still
That's the
ahead by a lot, but not as many because they're finding ballots all of a sudden. Oh, we have some mail-in ballots. It's amazing how those mail-in ballots are so one-sided, too. I know that it's supposed to be to the advantage of the Democrats, but in all cases, they're so one-sided. We were up by nearly 700,000 votes in Pennsylvania. I won Pennsylvania by a lot, and that gets whittled down to, I think they said now we're up by 90,000 votes.
Not even, my friend.
Coming and coming and coming.
Not
They find
even.
them all over. And they don't want us to have any observers, although we won a court case. The judge said you have to have observers. Likewise in Georgia, and they're appealing. Actually, they're appealing. We won a case that we want people to watch, and we want observers, and they're actually appealing, which is sort of interesting. I wonder why they'd appeal, that all we want to do is have people watch as they do the vote tabulations. Likewise in Georgia, I won by a lot, with a lead of over getting close to 300,000 votes on election night in Georgia. And by the way, got whittled down, and now it's getting to be to a point where I'll go from winning by a lot to perhaps being even down a little bit.
Yes, let's hope.
In Georgia, a pipe burst in a faraway location, totally unrelated to the location of what was happening, and they stopped counting for 4 hours.
Isn't this the best?
A lot of things happened.
A lot of
The
things
election
happened.
apparatus in Georgia is run by Democrats.
People snuck fake
also
ballots
had
in.
Margins of 300,000 in Michigan.
I hate to mute, but if you want to sneak fake ballots in Atlanta, why would you burst a pipe and stop counting? You would do it quietly without calling attention to yourself by bursting a fake pipe.
They got whittled down. Today we're on track to win Arizona. We only need to carry, I guess, 55% of the remaining vote, 55% margins, and that's a margin that we've significantly exceeded. So we'll see what happens with that, but we're on track to do okay in Arizona. Our goal is to defend the integrity of the election. We'll not allow the corruption to steal such an important election, or any election for that matter. And we can't allow anybody to silence our voters and manufacture results. I've been doing a lot of public things for a long time. I've never had anything that's been as inspirational, by people calling, talking, sending things to us. I've never seen
people have sent them things.
Such love and such affection and such spirit as I've seen for this. People know what's happening, and they see what's happening, and it's before their eyes. And there are many instances which will be reported very shortly.
I'd love for him to address losing by 3.5 million votes so far.
This is a case where they're trying to steal an election. They're trying to rig an election, and we can't let that happen. Detroit and Philadelphia, known as two of the most corrupt political places anywhere in our country, easily
behind Mar-a-Lago,
cannot be responsible for engineering the outcome of a presidential race, a very important presidential race.
I do worry people will get violent because of this.
To the state Supreme Court to try and ban our election observers, and very strongly. Now, we won the case, but they're going forward. They don't want anybody in there. They don't want anybody watching them as they count the ballots. And I can't imagine why. There's absolutely no legitimate reason why they would not want to have people watching this process, because if it's straight, they should be proud of it.
It's a straight process.
Trying, obviously, to commit fraud. There's no question about that. In Philadelphia, observers have been kept far away, very far away, so far that people are using binoculars to try and see. And there's been tremendous problems caused. They put paper on all of the windows so you can't see in, and the people that are banned are very unhappy and become somewhat.
I saw one guy with a telescope, actually.
The 11th Circuit ruled that in Georgia, the votes have been in by Election Day, that they should be in by Election Day, and they weren't. Votes are coming in after Election Day. And they had a ruling already that you have to have the votes in by Election Day. To the best of my knowledge, votes should be in by Election Day. And they didn't do that. Democrat officials never believed they could win this election, honestly. I really believe that. That's why they did the mail-in ballots, where there's tremendous corruption and fraud going on.
Fraud.
That's why they mailed out tens of millions of unsolicited ballots without any verification measures whatsoever. And I've told everybody that these things would happen, because I've seen it happen. I watched a lot of different elections.
Has he said anything true so far?
Decided to go with this big, massive election with tens of millions of ballots.
I guess every state he's mentioned is a state.
In many cases, totally unsolicited. This was unprecedented in American history. This was by design, despite years of claiming to care about the election security. They refused to include any requirement to verify signatures, identities, or even determine whether they're eligible or ineligible to vote. People are walking in there. They have no idea. They're just taking numbers. They're writing down things, the workers, and doing a lot of bad things. And we have a lot of information coming and litigation that you'll see that will shake even you people up. And you've seen it all. The officials.
1 point in Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania and other key states are all
1
part
point.
of a corrupt Democrat machine that you've written about, and for a long time you've been writing about the corrupt Democrat machine. I went to school there, and I know a lot about it. It hasn't changed. It's a long time ago, and hasn't changed. It's gotten worse. In Pennsylvania, partisan Democrats have allowed ballots in the state to be received 3 days after the election, and we think much more than that. And they're counting those without even postmarks or any identification whatsoever. So you don't have postmarks, you don't have identification. There have been a number of disturbing irregularities across the nation. Our
tough reading
campaign has
there.
been denied access to observe any counting in Detroit. Detroit is another place. And I wouldn't say has the best reputation for election integrity. Poll workers in Michigan were duplicating ballots, but when our observers attempted to challenge the activity, those poll workers jumped in front of the volunteers to block their view so that they couldn't see what they were doing.
Papers and binoculars.
It became a little bit dangerous. One major hub for counting ballots in Detroit covered up the windows again with large pieces of cardboard. And so they wanted to...
It was construction paper,
the counting
actually.
area. They didn't want anybody seeing the counting, even though these were observers who were legal observers that were supposed to be there. In Detroit, there were hours of unexplained delay in delivering many of the votes for counting. The final batch did not arrive until 4 in the morning.
Did he say batch?
And even though the polls closed at 8 o'clock, so they brought it in, and the batches came in, and nobody knew where they came from.
Batches.
We've also been denied access to observe in critical places in Georgia. In multiple swing states, counting was halted for hours and hours on election night, with results withheld from major Democrat-run locations only to appear later. And they suddenly appeared, and they all had the name Biden on them, or just about all, I think almost all.
Wow. Georgia down to 0.1.
It's a little strange.
0.1 in Georgia. Oh, my
Joe and
God.
every Democrat to clarify that they only want legal votes, because they talk about votes, and I think they should use the word legal votes.
Seeing his leads shrink as he talks is just amazing.
Every legal vote counted. We want openness and transparency, no secret count rooms, no mystery ballots, no illegal votes being cast after Election Day. You have Election Day, and the laws are very strong on that. You have an Election Day, and
We
they
do have
don't want
elections, yeah.
votes cast after Election Day, and they want the process to be an honest one. It's so important. We want an honest election, and we want an honest count, and we want honest people working back there, because it's a very important job. So that's the way this country is going to win. That's the way the United States
Sir, how about those 100 million vaccine
we will
doses?
win the election very easily. We think there's going to be a lot of litigation because we have so much evidence, so much proof, and it's going to end up perhaps at the highest court in the land. We'll see. But we think there'll be a lot of litigation because we can't have an election stolen like this. And I tell you, I have been talking about this for many months with all of you. And I've said very strongly that mail-in ballots are going to end up being a disaster. Small elections were a disaster. Small, very easy to handle elections were disastrous. This is a large-scale version. And
Will
it's
he
getting
take
worse and
questions,
worse
guys,
every
do you
day.
think?
We're hearing stories that are horror stories, absolute horror stories. And we can't let that happen to the United States of America. It's not a question of who wins,
He won't.
Republican, Democrat, Joe, myself. We can't let that happen to our country. We can't be disgraced by having something like this happen. So it will be...
Thank you very much,
cleared
everybody.
up, maybe soon, I hope soon, but it'll probably go through a process, a legal process. And as you know, I've claimed certain states, and he's claiming states, so we can both claim the states.
Biden's not claiming any states that media is not giving him.
But there's been a lot of shenanigans, and
Claiming
we can't
states.
stand for that in our country. Thank you very much.
There it is. What a loser. Oh, my God. Is Marganani going to speak? Nope, she's bailing too. Wow. What a pathetic joke, guys. What a pathetic joke. So basically, Trump's the biggest victim in the world. Everything's being taken from him. There's cardboard. There's cardboard on windows, and he would have already won everything were it not for the media. Is that more or less it? Like, do I more or less have it? Is that generally speaking what he said? I think I've gotten everything. Now, by the way, very, very interesting updates as Donald Trump was talking. The Pennsylvania numbers got even closer, where they went from a 1.2% margin to 1.1. And per the Associated Press, Pennsylvania is now a 1.0 margin, just 64,261, something like that, separating the two candidates. That's very, very interesting. And then going over to Georgia now as close as it has been, down to 1/10 of a point, only 3635. Am I right on that? 3,635 votes now separating Donald Trump and Joe Biden in Georgia. Per the Associated Press on Georgia, they are also at the exact same thing, 36-35. We're all square and even as far as that goes. 34-35, people saying, very good. Okay, I never claimed, I said my math would be quick, but I never said it would be correct. And then in the meantime, Arizona has tightened a little bit. Arizona has tightened to a 2.2 percentage point margin, but a lot of things happening. I'm not going to say quickly, but things are certainly happening. Okay, that is going to end my coverage today. If you are watching over on Twitch, I do want to invite you. Let's raid a small. Hold on. Let's see here. Let's raid a small channel and see if it's somebody who might enjoy. Who do we have that small channels that I follow over on? Oh, you know what? Let's raid the Chess Bras. Can I do that? Yeah, let's do it. I think that they will be very surprised because I have, I don't even think that they know. This is fun. I love raiding a small channel. So let's do it. Everybody on YouTube, make sure to hit the subscribe button so when we go live tomorrow with what hopefully will be something decisive, you will be notified. All right? Thanks, everybody. See you soon.